BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: more cars targeted by vandals in High Wycombe. A Watford fan is attacked after the game against Wolves. And paramedics want safety reviewed on the M1.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's been a fourth night of cars being vandalised in High Wycombe. The attack started after an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police ruled he died from misadventure. Iain Duncan reports.
A number of cars were vandalised in differing neighbourhoods of High Wycombe on Saturday night, and police say their inquiries are ongoing. Last week, more than 50 vehicles were sprayed with graffiti and had their windows smashed in during attacks being linked to the death of Habibullah in 2008. A police spokeswoman said the extra patrols will remain until those responsible have been caught.
A Watford supporter is in a critical condition after being attacked after the game at Wolves on Saturday. He was on his way from the ground to Wolverhampton Station when he and his friends were assaulted. Catherine Boyle reports.
Police say the unprovoked attack happened just after 5 o'clock and that the man and his friends were completely outnumbered. The 44-year-old from Hemel Hempstead is being treated for a serious head injury. Watford Football Club has expressed its shock over the attack, saying its thoughts are with the supporter and his family and urging anyone with information to go to the police.
A paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country. Paul Hardwick says he and his fellow paramedics dread getting called out to the section between junctions 12 and 13. Matt Lockwood reports.
Since September, 5 people have died in accidents on the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1. Paul Hardwick believes the lack of lighting along this stretch is contributing to accidents at night. The Highways Agency said they keep the safety of their network under review, but they say there is nothing at this stage to link the collisions that have occurred on the M1 in Bedfordshire.
David Cameron will say today that if the Conservatives win the general election, they'll open hundreds more free schools. But opponents say the schools are being set up in places where they're not needed. The Sun newspaper's political editor Tom Newton-Dunn says the Prime Minister's argument will be helped by a new report.
The other thing he'll have to hand will be quite an interesting report by the Policy Exchange, who claim through some quite interesting and well-documented research that free schools haven't just pushed up standards for kids going to them, but also, very interestingly, in all the schools around them.
The first attempt to fly a solar-powered plane around the world has begun. The journey started in Abu Dhabi this morning and will take place in 12 stages spread over 5 months. In sport, England's cricketers are playing Bangladesh in the World Cup. Needing the victory to stay in the tournament, England have reduced Bangladesh to 151 for 4. And the weather will be cold and dry at first, turning cloudy with light rain this afternoon. Top temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius. That's 52 degrees Fahrenheit. You can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
What a great idea! A shoe built on blocks. I'll call them Blocker Boots. We'll sell 1 million. Blocker Boots, Blocker Boots, block, block, Blocker Boots. They're in fashion today. Blocker Boots are neat. They go with your feet. Look at them! Blocker Boots are so high. They've made 1 million people buy. Blocker Boots, Blocker Boots, block, block, Blocker Boots. They're in fashion today. They're in your shops now. They're selling fast. Buy Blocker Boots!
There once was a wealthy man who had a wonderful idea to bring children from all places with all kinds of faces together into a sailing ship. There were 40 boys and girls. They would sail their ship around the globe, so they called it the United World. The ship was just 3 weeks from shore when a hurricane bore down. The waves were big as mountains. They found they would surely drown. They jumped into the lifeboats, rowed away from the wreck. They didn't count them, they hadn't time. 5 children were left behind. The children fought the storm all night and finally fell asleep. They didn't realize the ship had been blown across a reef into the lost island.
Is it about a gap year? Press the wrong button, don't matter. Well, it don't matter. We all do that. It's symbolic of life, isn't it, eh? Isn't it? Sitting on a different chair, it's slightly higher than my last one. I feel, a bit higher. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Catherine, what's on the show this morning?
All kinds of stuff. More
Excellent.
vandalism in Wickham over the weekend.
Not so
We'll be talking
excellent.
about that. Paramedic who says that the M1 stretch through Bedfordshire is one of the most dangerous in the country. Wow. He should know. He had a horrible accident there. And we'll also be catching up with what's been going on at Yarlswood.
Sounds like a show to me.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And as my friend Adam Hess described, the poshest crime in the world has taken place. A dog being poisoned at Crufts doesn't get any posher than that, does it?
It sounds like something from Midsummer Murders.
It's interesting that all of the newspapers are taking it seriously, apart from The Sun.
Yeah.
Whose tongue is in its cheek. Murder at Crufts. Police are following all leads.
No.
Yeah.
Bit soon, I think. Bit soon.
Let's go to page 5. Nice. Murder in the first pedigree.
Oh.
No, guys? No, guys? I mean, it's a beautiful dog. Well, it was a beautiful dog.
It's actually dead, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They think... and one of the other papers has got loads of... it's the Mail, I think. Got loads of theories as to what may have happened.
Wow.
This is an incredible thing. I don't like Crufts. I don't like dogs. I mean, it wasn't me. I don't,
You seem to have two motives there.
There are 4 murder theories. A jealous rival. Dog shows are notoriously competitive.
Yeah.
But while there have been rumours of nobbling... What? Oh, by slipping laxatives into food, sticking chewing gum in a well-groomed coat, or snipping off fur, it seems staggering that someone could go so far as to kill a fellow competitor's dog. Theory number 1. Theory number 2. Anti-foreign feeling.
Oh.
There's been growing... Oh, this is the UKIP factor. There's been growing controversy over the number of overseas dogs allowed into Crufts. This year, there were nearly 3,000 entrants from abroad, prompting complaints from some owners who say it's a British event.
They come over here, they take our bones.
Number 3. A dog hater. Co-owner D. Milligan Bott believes the poisoning of Jagger could have been the work of a random psychopath.
Well, it could have been.
Could have been the dog. Might have hated doing those tricks. So
Animal rights activists is theory number 4. Animal rights group Peter branded Crufts a parade of freaks last year.
Yeah, but they wouldn't kill a dog.
There is no suggestion that Peter is in any way linked to Jagger's death.
No, they wouldn't.
And it would seem strange for an activist to target a dog rather than its owner.
Yeah, so why say it?
Because that box was just the right size for 4 theories. So we're down to 3 theories. A jealous rival, anti-foreign feeling, dog hater. They've not included suicide.
Well, or...
As you mentioned, yeah.
Or sick dog. Well, it might have been ill.
What?
Dog might have been ill.
Oh. Silly really, though, isn't it?
All men must have someone who never take advantage of the love bright as the sun. Someone to understand them, and you just may be the one. All men must have someone who will never take for granted all the pleasures and the fun. Someone to stand beside them, and you just may be the one. just may be the one. Someone to understand them, and you just may be the one.
It's the Monkees, isn't it? Now, there's been a fourth night of vandalism in Wickham, with police saying they'll be stepping up patrols until they catch all those responsible. We talked about this last week, remember, and it was all under control and had been stopped, and, well, it hadn't. Local reports suggest up to 200 cars have been damaged this weekend, with their windows smashed and graffiti sprayed on the bodywork in attacks linked with the death in custody of a man called Habib Ullah. Well, Louise lives in the Cressex area of the town and witnessed one of the attacks.
Literally, within the space of them running up the road, they were literally smashing car windows as they were running past them. Literally, it was as quick as that, running straight past, not even stopping. You know, glass everywhere, car alarms going off, and obviously on the phone to the police. To be honest, if it doesn't get resolved by the police, and I think it'll only take a few members of the public to take it into their own hands, and I think it could possibly escalate. You know, it will only take somebody to catch hold of one of them, and I think it could spark something off.
Speaking on this programme on Friday, the family of Habib Ullah, or a spokesperson for the family, called for calm in Wickham. Saqib Deshmukh is a spokesperson for the Justice Campaign.
Obviously, we appreciate things are a bit tense and people are angry, etc., after the verdict on Monday, but that there's no way that, you know, we can tolerate this kind of action. Unfortunately, for a lot of people who didn't really understand the nuances of the verdict, they seem to have committed some of these acts.
Oh, well, Catherine's been looking into the latest spate of vandalism. Catherine, what happened over the weekend?
Well, we started to...
Oh, hang on, let's try that.
We started to get messages on Twitter, didn't we, over the weekend,
yep.
and directed to the High Wycombe Facebook page, amongst other things. Police have confirmed that a number of cars were vandalised across Wycombe again on Friday and Saturday night. The exact number of vehicles damaged yet to be established, but police say they've received reports of vandalism in differing neighbourhoods of Wycombe. But we've been reliably informed that more than 200 cars have been vandalised in Wycombe since Tuesday.
So what are the police doing about it?
Well, Thames Valley Police told us they're introducing extra police patrols until they can be assured that all those responsible for these crimes have been caught. In a statement, unfortunately, we're not speaking to them directly. In a statement, they say it's vital that local people report suspicious behaviour or incidents to them straight away. In addition, if anyone is made aware of videos or photographs on social media relating to these incidents, then the public are being urged to contact police. And officers say they've also made a number of arrests and inquiries are ongoing.
But it's vital that local people report suspicious behaviour. That'll be their car being vandalised.
Well, as Louise says, it's not just suspicious behaviour. It happens in a flash. They just leg it down the road and smash the cars off.
I would imagine that not everybody is happy with the police response.
No, Liberal Democrat councillor Simon Parker, who we'll be speaking to later on, represents the Booker and Cressex ward, where many of the cars have been damaged. He says the police need to do two things.
We need to understand what they're doing to investigate these criminal actions. I also need to ask what they're doing to actually reassure the public, because these are crimes that are happening very close to people's homes, and people are not sleeping safe in their bed at the moment. The response I'm getting from the public is that they are confused as to how the police are investigating these matters. We need to ask some questions and really see a more visible presence from our police force at this time.
Here's another clip from Simon Parker. He's telling us how vandals attacked one resident's car.
And I spoke to one resident who actually saw two groups of youths apparently coming from different ends of the street and actually just systematically breaking the windows with something which we think must be like a hammer. So it's absolutely brazen, and the impression we get is that they're acting, with the impression that they're doing it with almost total impunity.
We'll also be speaking later on to Mohammed Khalil, who sits on the Thames Valley Independent Advisory Group. He's calling for more police resources to be allocated to deal with this.
And this latest spate of damage is again being linked to the outcome of the Habib Ullah inquest, isn't it?
That's what police have told us. Remember, on Tuesday and Wednesday night, more than 50 cars were vandalised in the Cressex and Brooker areas of Wickham. The vehicles had windows smashed and graffiti sprayed on them. Some of them were emblazoned with NJNP, which stands for No Justice, No Peace, which we've seen in other high-profile, following high-profile deaths in custody. One of them here in Luton, Leon Briggs, but also previously elsewhere. This is one of the slogans also used by people who say they're acting on behalf of the Habib Ullah campaign group, which is why the police are linking it to the recent outcome of that inquest into his death, although the actions are not supported or sanctioned by campaign organisers or his family.
What a bunch of horrible little so-and-sos, aren't they? How is... OK, so if they are angry with the police and angry with the inquest, well, then why are you smashing my car up? What have I, and I use me, not literally, in the metaphorical sense, but what have I got to do with it? Don't go around smashing up other people's cars. Go and have a protest outside the police station if you want. You cowardly little... so-and-sos, aren't they? Need a good whack around the ears. Right, 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, looking at the motorways on the CCTV cameras, it's looking really quiet so far, so there are no delays there at the moment. In Hertford, on Ware Road, there's roadworks going on at the junction for Cromwell Road, so that could cause some queues later on. And on the A41 North Western Avenue, looking at the speed sensors at the roadworks at the Dome roundabout, they're not causing any delays at the moment. In High Wycombe, the A40 Oxford Road's moving well through the roadworks between Temple Street in both directions, and that could get busy later on though. And on the train departure boards, the 6:33 train from Luton to Bedford is delayed by 15 minutes. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah. 6:15, it's Monday the 9th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There have been more cars vandalised in High Wycombe following an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police. A Watford fan is in a critical condition, having been attacked after the game against Wolves on Saturday. And a paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Every weekday morning.
Let me get on with your consumer problems.
Should I expect it to last as a £350 TV or a £250 TV?
Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Have you gone back to the retailer? I went and spoke to the company that you'd paid the money to.
The JVS show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
So I emailed again and reminded them of the statutory rights, which I've heard in your programme.
If you need our help, email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk.
They've backed down and they've put in writing to me that I no longer owe the money.
And we could do the same for you.
That's fantastic news. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Your team is fantastic because you look after the people.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedfordshire paramedic is calling for lighting to be installed on the county's stretch of the M1 after narrowly avoiding becoming a casualty himself. Paul Hardwick was shunted into the central reservations between junctions 12 and 13, and he believes poor visibility was a major factor. We'll speak to him a bit later on in the show. In the meantime, Jill Comby is from the Home Counties North Advanced Drivers Group. Morning, Jill.
Oh, good morning. Thank you for having me on your show this morning.
Well, thanks for coming on at this ridiculous time of the day. 5 people have died in accidents on the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 since September. How dangerous does this stretch of motorway sound to you?
It's not something I drive very much, but I have had a look at it. Yes, there are dangers, and I think with switching off lights, a lot of the onus is thrown back onto the motorist to keep himself as safe as he possibly can. Now, I was really sorry to read the experience of the paramedic. You seem to be doing all the right things, and sometimes you are just in the wrong place at the wrong time, so I'm really pleased he came through it. But
what are the risks of hard shoulder running, Jill?
Well, they come on, they come off. Sometimes you can use them, sometimes you can't. I don't think there's been much publicity given to the rules and regulations which apply. The current edition of the Highway Code does have something on it, but I think a view amongst a lot of drivers is there really hasn't been quite enough publicity. If anybody really wants to go in to have a look at the guidelines around what you're supposed to do, the IAM website will give you information. Bear with me for a minute, I'll just see what I can tell you on that. But really, as with any kind of driving, motorway or wherever, it's up to the motorist to have a really good look ahead, around them, behind, to know what's going on and adapt to their driving. And also bear in mind, if it's something different, lights being switched off, hard shoulder running, which people are only just starting to come across, other drivers are going to be very confused. So not only are you trying to understand what you've got to do yourself, you're needing to bear in mind that some other drivers might be doing some really strange
Hard shoulder running and active speed management, that's where they flash up 60 on the signs or 50, or then it goes back to 70. They are still relatively new. Do you think we need more information about how these things work?
Oh, absolutely. I've mentioned the IAM website giving some guidance, but in my own case, for instance, I've just had my tax disc renewal through, and I think that would be an excellent opportunity for the DVSA to send out a note saying we've now got these smart motorways being rolled out around the country. There are going to be changes in the way our motorways are managed, delivered with additional features. So when there's a communication to a driver, be it from DVSA or whoever, if there are leaflets available, perhaps they could be popped in the envelope so that a driver says, yes, I drive this is really handy.
What do you think it'll take, Jill, for the authorities to do something about this motorway?
I understand that the Highways Agency are constantly reviewing this. Before they decide to put in hard shoulder running or switching off lights, they do their assessments. They've got guidance, they will look at a particular location. They will keep it constantly under review, so if it does turn out it's evidence-based, if they can prove, or somebody can prove that there really is a major issue, then it's something that they will be having a look at and hopefully revisiting. Certainly from the IAM's point of view, we would sincerely hope that this is something that they stick to.
Jill, I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Jill Comby from the Home Counties North Advanced Drivers Group.
Now there are 3 steps to heaven. Just listen and you will plainly see. And as life travels on and things do go wrong, just follow steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1, you find a girl you love. Step 2, she falls in love with you. Step 3, you kiss and hold her tightly. Yeah, that sure seems like heaven to me. Miller. For heaven's very simple. Just follow the rules and you will see. And as life travels on and things do go wrong, just follow steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1, you find a girl you love. Step 2, she falls in love with you. Step 3, you kiss and hold her tightly. Yeah, that sure seems like heaven to me. Just follow steps 1, 2, and 3.
Didn't you nearly shunt someone roughly from behind on the M1 the other day?
I did, coming off junction 12.
You sent me a message saying, "Oh, I nearly died." Well,
I did nearly die.
Well,
if I'd been trained by a police pursuit vehicle driver,
what
I might
happened?
Have not
You
averted
fantasist.
disaster. No, and I actually rang here and I got Jonathan to put a special note out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was proper dangerous. So I was coming off at junction 12. And I was behind a lorry, can't see.
Yeah.
Also, there's you using all the lanes there. There's no hard shoulder, so you don't get that extra bit of foresight.
Yes,
so
Bruce foresight.
I'm coming off behind this lorry, and straight over the hash lines at junction 12, there was a broken down van, with a man standing right next to it. And I nearly went bang right into him, but I didn't. But it could have happened. It could have been very nasty. He was standing right next to it as well. I mean, why would you do that?
Well, here's the thing: you're supposed to. If you
ran the fuzz as well.
What?
I rang the fuzz.
Okay. If you break down on the hard shoulder, you're supposed to get out of the vehicle and stand behind the barriers.
Right up the flipping hill.
All right. Supposing you're in a wheelchair, what are you supposed to do then?
I'm sure they have special training.
Well, what, the wheelchair people?
What they should do, yeah.
The disabled? No, they don't. They don't get any.
Well, just get away from your car.
But if you're in a wheelchair, you could get caught in someone's backdraft and pulled along the M1. Do you know what I mean? It sounds flippant. I'm being serious. If you're in a wheelchair, where are you supposed to go?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. I haven't got a wheelchair, but someone out there might be listening now thinking, I know what I would do.
Well, all right. If I was with my mum, who is in a wheelchair, what am I supposed to do?
Carry her over the barrier.
Oh, for goodness sake, she weighs a ton.
All right, we'll leave her on the hard shoulder and you get behind the barrier.
She might get sucked off in a lorry in the not the quicksand, not the wake. The wake.
Yeah.
The backdraft.
So you're gonna have to pick her up and carry her over the barrier.
She might get sucked off in a backdraft.
You don't want that to happen, do you?
No, I don't.
Pick her up then, you lazy oaf.
She's too heavy. And she says her legs don't work.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable. Sorry?
Just don't break down then, mate. Simple.
There you go. At last, a bit of sensible advice from Kelly Betts. Thank you, Kelly.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting with the motorways on the M1 northbound, Marcus just called to report an accident near junction 10, and that's causing a slight obstacle with people being outside of their cars, so take care past the outside lane on the M1 northbound at junction 10. On the M25, it's all moving fine at the moment, but it is starting to look busy on the speed sensors in Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road at the M25 junction 21A roundabout. Elsewhere on the A421 Standing Way in Milton Keynes, there's roadworks at the Kingston roundabout, so expect delays there later on this morning. And on the train departure towards the 6:33 train from Luton to Bedford is delayed by 15 minutes. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: there's been another night of cars being vandalised in High Wycombe. The attack started last week after an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police ruled that he died from misadventure. A Watford supporter is in a critical condition after being attacked after the game at Wolves on Saturday. The 44-year-old from Hemel was on his way from the ground to Wolverhampton Station when he and his friends were assaulted. And a paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is the most dangerous road in the country. Paul Hardwick says he and his fellow paramedics dread getting called out between junctions 12 and 13, where 5 people have died since September. The weather will be cold and dry at first, turning cloudy with light rain this afternoon. Top temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius. That's 52 degrees Fahrenheit.
3 Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers are playing Bangladesh to stay in the World Cup. Bangladesh have reached 192 for 4, with England yet to bat. Liverpool and Blackburn's FA Cup quarter-final finished goalless at Anfield. It means 2 of the 3 quarter-finals played so far will go to a replay. Here's Liverpool boss Brendan Rodgers.
I'm pleased we're still in the hat for the next round. Of course, you want to win the home game, but it's credit to both sets of players. First to Mayon, on the back of 2 great wins in the league. Obviously, it's a tough game for us, and we put everything into the game and just couldn't quite make the breakthrough.
Watford are joint top of the Championship with 4 other teams after their draw at Wolves, but MK Dons' automatic promotion hopes slipped after Saturday's 2-0 defeat at home to Preston in League One. The Dons are now 4 points adrift, but manager Carl Robinson still feels they can go up automatically.
That's it now. I think we will have Swindon and maybe just Doncaster who've creeped into that sort of final spot in the top half of the table to play. So I'm running from here and in. The players can't use any excuses from now on. It's as simple as they couldn't ask for better fixtures, and we have to hold on to that. This is the lowest point of it.
Luton Town's League 2 automatic promotion hopes were dented as they lost 3-2 at home to Morecambe. After the match, captain Steve McNulty and manager John Still were involved in an altercation with a Luton fan. Wycombe remain third after a draw at Southend, and Stevenage are closer to the playoffs after their win against Newport. And finally, in rugby, Bedford lost 15-8 to Yorkshire Carnegie. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, more at 7 o'clock.
Hang on, there.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Go on then. Tell us about this dodge pot and what he's done.
He's not. I don't think he is a dodge pot.
Well, what's it? He smuggled a child into the country.
Yeah,
that's not dodgy.
That's what the headline screams.
That's not dodgy.
In the Mirror. Well, hang on a minute.
That's not dodgy.
Well, hang on a minute.
I would suggest smuggling a child into the country is dodgy.
I would say that is a very inflammatory word, and when you actually read what the story is...
Okay. It's illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal.
Well, that's anything that is illegal is dodgy.
OK. Lib Dem Lord confesses he smuggled a boy into the UK and pretended he was his son.
That doesn't sound dodgy to you?
Doesn't sound great, does it? This is Kurban Hussain, Deputy PM Nick Clegg's key diversity advisor and former Luton councillor.
He lives around here.
He does live around here. We've been ringing him all weekend. A lord illegally smuggled a 2-year-old boy into Britain by claiming him to be his own son, the Sunday Mirror can reveal. Kurban Hussain tricked US embassy officials into issuing a British passport for the boy who was born in Pakistan to impoverished parents. This is according to the Mirror yesterday. The Liberal Democrat Life peer has now sensationally admitted he lied to the British High Commission in Islamabad. He said, I know now it's illegal. I realised it was legally wrong, but morally it was the right thing to do. Lord Hussain, 58, could face a police probe under the 1971 Immigration Act for obtaining leave by deception. It carries a maximum 2-year jail
sentence. But the thing is, he has spoken out about illegal immigration. Lord Hussain, who has spoken out about the dangers of illegal immigration, so he's a hypocrite.
The dangers of, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Now, listen, this is a guy who says he and his wife adopted the boy to save him from a life of poverty, but admitted there was never any paperwork or public records. He says the child's mother begged my wife to take him. He was born in the next house in the same village on the exact same day as my daughter. You've never before seen levels of poverty like this family lived in. We did everything in good faith. I approached the British High Commission in Islamabad, but I didn't complete the right paperwork. Now I know it was illegal, but I didn't know then. Now I regret it. So he says he didn't do it to deceive.
He says, I utterly stand against illegal immigration. That's not the issue here. Well, yeah, of course it is.
Now, this is someone
Imagine if everybody brought a Pakistani boy over.
But he raised the boy as his own.
Right.
He's now living independently. He's finished university. He thinks that Kurban Hussain is his father. He knows he's his adoptive father, but he says he's been a father to him. I mean, I've got some sympathy with him, feeling like he was doing the right thing, but just not completing the paperwork.
He's a lord, right? One rule for us, one rule for them. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You don't know what I mean. You think he did a good thing.
I don't think he did it when he was a lord, so I don't think that applies, that criticism.
But well, no, it does, because he is a lord now.
Yeah, he is now.
Exactly.
But back then...
He should be stripped of that.
Well...
08459 455 555. Do you not think?
No, I think he was misguided.
Well, yeah, but he broke the law.
Yeah, he didn't realise at the time.
The lad should be sent back.
Oh, come on. I mean, he really is not to blame for any of that.
As a lord, he debates laws and has the power to amend or reject major bills. His first act in Parliament was to talk about immigration and the risks of breaking immigration law. Yeah.
Hot water.
Very, very hot water.
The thing that troubles me most about this is, even if we take him at his word that this was done with the best of intentions and morally he felt compelled to help this child and his family, how many other people have abused the system?
He's no different to Madonna, except she did it legally. So in many ways, very, very different situation.
Yeah, in many ways, very different.
Almost not worth bringing it up, Catherine.
I think it is, but...
Her situation?
What, Madonna's?
What's that got to do with it?
You're talking about Tina Turner.
Huh? The last jacket potatoes in the shop, as Harry Hill once described her.
What? Who?
Tina Turner.
That's rude, isn't it?
Isn't it? This dog. Murder at Crufts. Police are following all leads.
But look, it says murder probe, but then it says Jagger may have been poisoned at the show. He may not have.
May not have been.
Maybe
a champion dog has died. Well, it says here, I'm going to go with the Sun.
Go on.
A champion dog has died after being fed poison while competing at Crufts. Irish Satyr Jagger collapsed in, oh dear, agony, in the arms of his owner's distraught 9-year-old son. Oh, what a horrific scenario. Cops have launched an international manhunt for the dog's killer. After it emerged, he'd been slipped cubes of steak laced with 3 poisons.
Oh.
Co-owner D. Milligan Bott, 56, of Leicester, said whoever did it was jealous or a dog-hating psychopath. It's become such a nasty sport. I'll stop you there, dear. It's not a sport. Crufts is not a sport. It's a hobby. Isn't it? It's not a sport.
I'm not a dog person, so yes, I would...
Oh!
What?
Say that again.
I'm not a dog person.
Kelly, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Just say that again.
What?
Say that bit again.
I'm not a dog person.
Oh, and yet this dog's been murdered.
Oh.
Have you spoken to the police? Have you spoken to them?
I'm sure they'll get round to speaking to me.
I'm sure
at some
they
point.
should do.
No, but they're on...
You're not a dog person?
International manhunt, not woman.
Oh, that's true. I don't like dogs. I don't like Crufts. I wouldn't suggest we go around killing them, though.
I went to see a breeder of Bichon Frise in the local area.
Oh,
the
jeez.
dedication they have to breeding these dogs is quite something.
But aren't they're inbreds, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they all have defects.
They're refined right down to breed in certain elements and breed out others.
Yeah, but they get like cancer and stuff really easily because they are genetically weak. You just shrugged your shoulders as if to say yeah, and... Cancer
and stuff? What do you mean?
Well, diseases. They get diseases because they are genetically impure.
And bone defects.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you attacking me over this? I don't breed dogs.
Well, you said you don't like... I know you don't like dogs. We've established that.
I don't mind them.
Where were you at the weekend of Crufts? You like meat cubes.
Hey, listen, you were in Birmingham. I wasn't.
That's true, actually. I was in Birmingham.
I think you're trying to deflect attention.
What you got in the papers?
Job centre staff told to unmask terror suspects. As if they've got enough to do.
Well, there was one woman when I signed on who would easily have done that. She was terrified.
Really? She should have been signed up by MI5. They're after more women, aren't they? Job centre workers will be urged to identify claimants vulnerable to Islamic radicalisation. Oh, I wonder what sort of people they will put forward as part of the crackdown on the threat of homegrown extremism.
Long beards, funny clothes.
Yeah, I mean, the proposal disclosed last night is part of an unequivocally tough approach to the threat facing Britain after the unmasking of Jihadi John, the Islamic State executioner. So,
he's got an official title now, is he?
What is the suggestion that because his family claimed benefits, then Muslim families who claim benefits are all going to go the same way? Is that the suggestion? New penalties in the benefit system will apply to those who refuse to learn English and integrate.
Yep. That's it.
There'll be a tightening of rules on granting citizenship to ensure new residents embrace British values. Wow.
Now, this next story is serious. Okay, it's really unpleasant.
Go on.
There's a thing in it I don't understand.
OK. This is going to lead to complaints. Go on.
Now, I'm laughing at what you just said there. I'm not
Well, I
laughing
know
at
it is.
This story is horrible.
Go on.
Sex pest was high on petrol. On petrol. A petrol-drinking sex pest...
Wow, stop. Don't tell people they can get high drinking petrol, because there'll be some...
Is facing jail after breaching his ASBO. Robert Stevens, didn't he invent trains? Got the order banning him from parts of the city. OK, so...
Which city?
Oxford. After he yelled cruel jibes at 3 women and 2 girls. They all said he reeked of petrol. The same morning, he assaulted his granddad and a cop. He was jailed for 6 months, getting out in February, and was found by cops intoxicated on petrol 8 hours later.
Petrol?
Now listen, I'm all, you know...
Surely that poisons you.
I went to college in the 90s, you know, I've smelt things as I've walked past people's rooms. I never went in there. I'm doing me. But petrol? Imagine having a little chug... Oh, do you know what? I really fancy copping a... You got any petrol? Just have a little chug on some petrol. I've smoked dry banana skins.
Yeah, I smoke tea bags.
Yeah! But petrol, I mean, flipping heck! That is proper nuts.
No choice but to hear you. You stated your case time and again. I thought about it. You treat me like I'm a princess. I'm not used to like that. You ask how my day was. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. Your love is thick and it swallowed me whole. You're so much braver than I gave you credit for. That's not lip service. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. You are the bearer of unconditional things. You held your breath and the door for me. Thanks for your patience. You're the best listener that I've ever met. You're my best friend with benefits. What took me so long? I've never felt this healthy before. I've never wanted something rational. I am aware now. I am aware now. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault.
travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, there's been an accident at junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road. Mark called to say that it's in the outside lane. That has now been cleared from the outside lane, but it is still causing northbound queues. And on the speed sensors, it is looking slow southbound through that stretch as well. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's looking very slow around junction 21A for the M1 south and junction 19 for Watford. And having a look at the CCTV cameras on the M40, it's looking quite misty, so that could cause some problems with visibility this morning. In Aylesbury on the A41 Aston Clinton Road, there are roadworks at the junction for New Road, which could get busy later, but it's looking fine at the moment on the speed sensors. And having a look at the train departure boards, there are no major delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 6:46, Monday, the 9th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are... The 9th of March? What?
I know.
It was Christmas the other day.
Our lives are flashing before our eyes.
The 9th of March. Flipping it. Anyway, these are the headlines. There have been more vandalised cars in High Wycombe following an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police. A Watford fan is in a critical condition after having been attacked after the game against Wolves on Saturday. And a paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a bright but chilly start across the three counties this morning. We have some frost in places as well. But once the sun's up, it won't last for too long. It is a bright and sunny start to the day. However, it's not going to last. The cloud will fairly swiftly increase through the morning, and then this afternoon some rain arriving from the west. Now, by the time it gets to us, it may be heavy to start with, but it will fragment and break up. So hopefully turning out to be light rain through the last stages of the afternoon and into this evening. The maximum temperature today up to 11 Celsius. Now, first thing, we'll still have the rain and the cloud, but gradually it will dry out. The cloud staying with us really until midnight, then after which it will clear eastwards. The sky will start to clear, and that's when our temperature will drop down to 1 in the countryside, and in the prone spots again we could get a bit of frost on windscreens. So for tomorrow morning, another chilly start, but it's going to be a lovely day tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine around, bit of cloud in the afternoon, but staying dry. Maximum temperature for Tuesday 10 Celsius, and that's your forecast.
Monday Night Sport is a sports programme unlike any other. I love going somewhere where the sport takes place. Go to the judo club in Aylesbury where he almost got strangled to death.
He's just about to get flung in the air and crash to the floor.
Oh! Yes, it is about sport, but it's also about us two having a bit of a giggle at the same time.
Anywhere on the green, he's got one over on Lucy, the US Open competitor. Oh, it's... I think we can see that.
We've had some great ones.
I thought the wakeboarding was just tremendous.
Yeah.
That is so far out of our comfort zone. I don't quite know how I fell off, but I think it was something to do with the balance.
And, of course, you can see all the videos on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BBC3CR.
Three Counties Sport on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey, this fella's, this is weird.
What's weird?
I don't care what people think. My baby's loved, I'm happy and nothing else matters. Well, that sounds wonderful. Then you read into it, he's a gay fella and his mum has had his baby.
Well, no, she's not.
Yes, she has, mate. His baby has come out from between her legs. She's had her gay son's baby. That is messed up.
He's used a surrogate, it just happens to be his mum.
The extraordinary story of the single gay man whose mother gave birth to his surrogate baby. Here, he and his mum insist they've done nothing wrong. Right, first of all, he's single. He's a single bloke.
So?
Sorry?
Single women have babies all the time.
Well, they shouldn't.
With less thought.
Well, OK, right. Single dad shouldn't have a baby.
Oh, wow.
No, wow. Justin.
Hello, boss.
Forget the fact he's gay for a minute. We'll come on to that elephant in the room, the big gay elephant in the room in a little bit. That's in the corner.
It's an elephant, is it?
That's in the corner. Let's address the first elephant. He's a single man. Yep. He shouldn't be allowed to have a baby.
What are you asking for my opinion on that?
I want your opinion, not the BBC's.
Okay. How can I put this? I think it's always better if a child has two parents, not one.
But you can't guarantee it, ever.
I just think it's better that way.
But no, okay. So,
well, not always. Sometimes you can have two really terrible parents.
Sometimes a lady and a man, they have it away, and she gets pregnant by accident, but she wants to keep the baby. He's off. Well, that is fine.
This is no accident, though, is it?
No, but no.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
But that's why I think it's great, because there's been more thought put into it.
What? Are you nuts?
Absolutely. I mean, he would not have done this if there was any other way. And he obviously really wants a child, and he really thinks he can provide for this baby.
But he's had it with his mum.
No, he's not had it with his mum.
I'm not saying he's had it with his mum, but he's had it with his mum.
No, he's not.
Well, he's not had it with his mum, but he's had it with his mum.
There is
well,
a
he's
lot
not
there.
really, though.
No, but he's not had it with his mum, but he's had it with his mum. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, but he's not really.
Well, he has. His baby...
He's not partly his mum, though. She's the carrier.
The baby's mother...
No.
And the baby's grandmother.
The baby's mother.
This is Norfolk or something. What's going on?
Whoa. She's not the baby's mother.
It passed from between her legs. Yeah. She's the mum.
It wasn't her egg.
Doesn't matter. It was her.
She was just
woo jar.
She was just the vessel.
Oh, you're. Come on, let's treat her with a bit more respect than that.
No, but that's effectively what happened. It's not partly him and partly his mum.
Whose seed was it?
His.
Oh no! It was his seed in his mother?
No, but it was put
No, mate.
Already done.
No, mate. No, that is... you cannot tell... Well, first of all, that's literally not natural, is it?
No.
That's, okay, so it's unnatural. So this is an unnatural freaky baby.
I was willing to have an unnatural freaky baby then.
Yeah, but not your son's.
No, but my close relatives.
Surrogacy is...
Does that mean that I effectively had it with my... whatever he was?
You could have done. You should have done. You never know. You might still yet. No.
I won't.
No. We're getting on a bit. But...
They've had two healthy kids since then. It was a possibility.
Congratulations to them. He was never going to have a healthy kid with his mum.
He's not with his mum.
The baby, via his mum.
She was just the incubator.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a glass box incubator. It was a blood and skin and womb and vaginal incubator.
Oh.
The very best kind.
When that kid goes to school, how's he supposed to explain that to his friends?
Doesn't need to. None of their business.
Explain it to his friends.
Doesn't need to.
Or, your mum's your gran and your dad's your brother, you perverts. That's what's going to happen. That's what I'd say.
That's what's going to happen if the children start reading the Daily Mail.
No, this is... I'm sorry.
Just happened that the surrogate was a relative.
It's a bit weird.
His mum!
I think you're jumping through the Daily Mail's hoop.
No, his mum. It's not just any old relative. It's not his cousin. It's his mum. His seed has been inside his mum. Can you not see how messed up that is?
No.
What?
Because it wasn't her egg.
He was legally my brother. Legally his brother. But now I'm his dad. Ugh. Come on.
Beautiful story.
Oh, Catherine, you are typical liberal lefty BBC that I have to take the brunt of the blames for all the time. When I'm a right-thinking, right-minded, right kind of guy.
You're a right something.
Yeah. 08459 455. Look, the phones have gone mental, and they've all phoned up to put you in your place.
Don't care.
Imagine if I had one of my son's babies inside me. How messed up would that be? Wouldn't it, though? And yet you probably think, it's only natural. You're an incubator. I'm not an incubator. They're my boys. I'm not fathering and mothering their children for them. No. I'm sorry, Catherine. You've crossed the line. You've gone into fantasy land. That is messed up. We're not on the planet Venus. We're on Earth, and that's not how babies are made.
Well, effectively, it is.
Alan's on the line. Alan, I'm not wrong, am I?
You are wrong. Totally wrong.
Got what?
Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
Tell me why, Alan.
Because I'm a gay male. I wanted a child with all my heart, and the only way I could do it was to ask my sister to be the surrogate parent.
Flipping heck, man.
Which is what she did. My son is now 18 years old.
Oh.
He loves me to bits. He loves
I'm not questioning that. Does he love his auntie mum?
Of course he loves his auntie. And his auntie loves him. She looked after him as well as I did whenever I had to go out or anything.
Why couldn't you ask another woman? Why did you have to ask your sister?
Because there was no other one that I could ask to do it.
Well, then don't have a baby.
No. You're totally wrong.
It's not everyone's right. It's not everyone's right to have a baby. It's not your right to have a baby.
So was it your right as a heterosexual to have a baby yourself?
Well, there was a woman who was prepared to have my baby. Yeah, that wasn't my sister.
There was a woman prepared to have my baby.
That was your sister.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Of course it matters who it
I
is.
think you've got it completely wrong, Ian.
Well, I don't think it's right.
Well done, Alan.
No,
Thank you, dear.
I don't. What a beautiful gift your sister gave you.
Oh, for goodness! Am I the only one that is seeing common sense here? This is completely messed up. With the greatest of respect.
No.
Alan, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
You're so horrible.
No, I'm not. Honestly, I think it's messed up.
It's not partly his sister. She was just, you know.
Oh, for goodness
she was
sakes.
just the nest.
Justin is keeping suspiciously quiet here.
Well, listen, I'm just letting you guys row amongst yourselves. I stick to my original point. I think it's always better if a child can have two parents, not
I don't
one. This
think-
situation's a little bit strange.
Okay.
Have you watched Jeremy Kyle?
Let's broaden this out.
Some of those kids would be better off with just one parent.
No, I don't think that if you're a single person, you should go, do you know what, I'm single, but I don't know, I fancy a baby, so I'm going to have one. I don't think you should be able to do that. I don't... It's not everyone's right to have a baby. I don't think, as a single person, you go, do you know what, I'm single, but I really fancy having a baby.
But people in couples do that.
Yeah, they're in couples.
Oh, we've got the house, we've got the cat. Oh, let's have a baby.
They're in a couple.
Or, we're about to split up. Let's have a baby. That'll make it all better.
Guys,
Someone
can
gave
I
me that.
take this to
Yes,
the
Justin.
streets?
Yeah.
What's the question for the streets on this one?
How messed up? No, Catherine, you phrased the question in a sensitive way.
Well, it's not a question to me, though.
Oh, flipping it. Is this fella right or wrong, Justin?
Or could we go along the line of, is it always better to have two parents, not one?
No.
Or is it no?
Would you, ask a man, or if you're asking a man, say, would you mind if your partner had a close relative's baby?
No, because this fella hasn't got a partner.
Is it messed up, yes or no?
Oh, no.
Would you let your mum have your baby?
No, is it even that? Are you talking about, should single people have babies on purpose?
All right, let's go with that. But that's avoiding the fact that this man's mother had his baby.
No, she carried his baby.
Yeah, I know, exactly inside her belly.
Her womb.
It was in her belly button.
Oh, gosh.
It's tense.
She had a baby growing in her belly button and it was her son's baby. Come on now. Come on.
I'm not coming on.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
You're wrong.
Kelly, do you want to come on?
Oh, come on. What about, is surrogacy...
I can't believe I'm asking Kelly's opinion on this.
Is surrogacy right if it's done by your mum?
A family member?
Yeah.
No.
Because you didn't like the idea of Alan's sister carrying.
No, I did not. Partly because he's a single man.
Well, then we're coming back to the single thing.
You can't... What? Honestly, am I nuts, right? If you're a single person, I don't know, I fancy having a child. Do you know what? I'm going to have a child. I don't think you should be able to do that.
What about this? Should single gay men be allowed to use their mothers to give them a baby?
It's a bit specific, Lord.
No,
the thing is, the gay thing doesn't bother me, and I'm worried that the gay thing will cloud an already very cloudy issue. Yeah, but I would imagine there are probably heterosexual blokes that have been in the same position.
Is surrogacy okay if you're single?
Should singles use surrogates?
No, because it's his mum. This is such... Right, OK.
Why don't you ask the people of the streets what question we should ask them?
Should we put it out to the audience and maybe hold fire for 5 minutes?
Oh, God, my head is going to explode. I'm too old for this. Right. Yes, let's do that. Let's have some of this. Thank you, Just.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, there was an accident earlier at junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road that has now been reopened, but it is still looking very slow northbound through junction 10 at the Luton Airport Spur Road, and southbound is looking very slow from junction 11 for Dunstable Road and 7 for Hemel Hempstead. On the M40 towards London, it's very busy around junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout, and in High Wycombe on the A404 Marlow Hill, there's temporary traffic lights just before Marlow Road, so that is likely to get busy near the Leisure Centre later on this morning. No major delays reported on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. It's got very tense in here. Catherine's throwing paper snowballs at me. Catherine, just stop it.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: more cars targeted by vandals in High Wycombe. A Watford fan is attacked after the game against Wolves. And paramedics want safety reviewed on the M1.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's been a fourth night of cars being vandalised in High Wycombe. The attack started after an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police ruled that he died from misadventure. Louise lives in the Cressix area of the town and witnessed one of the incidents.
Literally within the space of them running up the road, they were literally smashing car windows as they were running past them. Literally, it was as quick as that, running straight past, not even stopping. Glass everywhere, car alarms going off, and obviously on the phone to the police.
A Watford supporter is in a critical condition after being attacked after the game at Wolves on Saturday. He was on his way from the ground to Wolverhampton Station when he and his friends were assaulted. Catherine Boyle reports.
Police say the unprovoked attack happened just after 5 o'clock and that the man and his friends were completely outnumbered. The 44-year-old from Hemel Hempstead is being treated for a serious head injury. Watford Football Club has expressed its shock over the attack, saying its thoughts are with the supporter and his family and urging anyone with information to go to the police.
The paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous in the country. Paul Hardwick says his colleagues dread getting called out to the section between junction 12 and 13. Jill Comby from the Home Counties North Advanced Drivers Group says hard shoulder running may be adding to the problem.
Yes, there are dangers, and I think with switching off lights, a lot of the onus is thrown back onto the motorist to keep himself as safe as he possibly can. But really, as with any kind of driving, motorway or wherever, it's up to the motorist to have a really good look ahead, around them, behind, to know what's going on and adapt to their driving.
David Cameron will say today that if the Conservatives win the general election, they'll open hundreds more free schools. But opponents say the schools are being set up in places where they're not needed. The Sun's newspaper's political editor, Tom Newton-Dunn, says the Prime Minister's argument will be helped by a new report.
The other thing he'll have to hand will be quite an interesting report by the Policy Exchange, who claim through some quite interesting and well-documented research that free schools haven't just pushed up standards for kids going to them, but also, very interestingly, in all the schools around them.
Patients in Luton are taking part in a project which gives them greater power over funding for health and social care. It's one of 8 places in the country to take part in the trial, which allows people with complex needs to have more say on how healthcare budgets are spent. England's cricketers are playing Bangladesh to stay in the World Cup. Bangladesh have reached 244 for 5, with England yet to bat. And the weather will be cold and dry at first, turning cloudy with light rain this afternoon. Top temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius, that's 52 degrees Fahrenheit. You can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
I am going to retire because I'm not going to sit here all night reading emails.
Morning. It's very, very tense here at BBC Three Counties Radio. Why? Well, we're discussing this story about the gentleman who was single. I just think it's wrong on so many levels. He's single, but he wanted a baby. So he couldn't find anyone to have a baby for him, so his mum had it for him. That is... Come on, guys. 08459 455 555. We've got that. What else we got on the show, Catherine?
We're talking about the vandalism in Wycombe.
Oh, this is nearly 200 cars, we think, since Tuesday vandalised. If one of them was yours, do give us a call and let us know.
Yeah, we were contacted over the weekend by a number of people, and quite a lot of them don't want to speak. We can change your name if you'd prefer. We understand that it's very, very tense around there at the moment.
I'd speak. I'd want to speak.
Well, exactly.
I'd want to speak. Look, I'm keen to know what they've been doing to your cars. 08459 455 555.
Also, the M1, apparently the Bedfordshire stretch, is one of the most dangerous in the country, according to a local paramedic. He says that he and his colleagues dread being called out there, and he narrowly avoided becoming a casualty along there as well. He said that it's the lack of lighting. You clicking your neck?
I'm trying to. I'm very tense. I need. Do you know what? I'm going to book a massage in this week. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and see. Yes. Okay. Fine. We'll have some of that. And also with the tragedy and the intrigue, the intriguedy of a dog murder at Crufts. I don't understand Cruft. I don't get it. It's certainly not a sport. It's a hobby. I don't get it. Showing off your dog. I mean, can someone sell Crufts to me? 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
You could, of course, text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Catherine, do we have any texters?
Texts? I knew you were going to ask that.
Well, that's why I was kind of talking slowly about texts, so that the seed will be planted in your head, not your belly button.
We've got a bit of facetiousness. Do you want that?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Maff in Hanslow. The police are barking up the wrong tree with the poisoned dog. Get Huckleberry Hound or Scooby-Doo on the case.
Oh, facetiousness. I remember what that means now. No, I don't want any of those.
Oh, and a few more quite rude ones about the guy who was a sex pest, but also a drinker of petrol.
You know, it's a very sad story. I mean, it's sad for his victims, of course. He was a sex pest. But the thing that intrigued me is that he was a petrol... Well, he's a petrol head, literally, in that he was addicted to petrol. He would... Because I'm guessing it's like a stronger version of meths. Now, meths is... You have to be in a pretty bad state to drink meth. Not lighter fluid. What's that purple one? Calagas. No, there was another... no, not...
White spirit or something?
No, it was used for heating in the 70s.
Oh, right.
What am I thinking of? 08459 455 555. People would drink that.
Butane or something.
Something like butane. But that's a gas, isn't it?
Don't drink this stuff, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, all right, Kath. Well, that'll stop them.
I know, but flipping heck. Petrol?
You've really got to be in a very desperate situation.
How did he get hold of it?
Well, you can
paying a pump?
Drive-through, isn't it? He would take his girlfriend along, fill her up. You know, it's not a good situation to be in for anybody, is it, at all?
Bad situation.
Very bad. I wonder if it's unleaded or diesel. 08459 455 555.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, I'd love to hear from you if you've been affected by this. We had quite a few emails and Facebook comments over the weekend. Local reports suggest that up to 200 cars have been damaged in Wickham after 4 nights of disorder by a group angry about a death in local police custody. Habibullah died after being stopped and searched in 2008. The vandalism began when an inquest last week recorded a verdict of misadventure. We can speak now to Liberal Democrat councillor Simon Parker, who represents the Booker and Cressex ward, where many of the cars have been damaged. Morning, Simon. Tell us about some of the stories you've heard, please.
Morning, Ian. And I think, just going back to your previous article, I think paraffin is the...
paraffin, thank you so much, Simon. Yes, thank you. Well done, thank you.
OK, we've heard reports. I mean, we're hearing lots of figures, and I do urge people to use these figures with caution. Reports are coming in from all over. 200 sounds very high for me, but we certainly have got a serious problem here. I mean, I live in Castlefield area. I'm the representative for Booker and Cressex, which has also been hit. But in my own road, there were 14 cars damaged on Friday night.
And what kind of damage is there, Simon?
OK, I was speaking to one of my neighbours, and she actually saw a group of young lads walking down the road, two groups of lads walking, one from each direction, and as they were going through, they just had sharp objects in their hands, and they were just bashing out the windows of the cars as they went past. She saw them and screamed at them, and they ran off.
How many lads were there?
I believe obviously, you know, people see these things and, you know, they don't take everything in at once. She thinks it was a couple of groups of 2 each.
Right.
And she described them as youngsters, as teenagers. She said they were dressed in the usual hoodie gear, and it was very difficult to make any positive identification. But we were talking about youngsters there. The police have arrested some people, though, who were, you know, certainly of adult age. So it's really difficult to know if this is a copycat thing, which is just spread throughout the area.
What are people feeling?
Well, vulnerable, I think. You know, it's 7 o'clock on a Monday morning. The first thing I did when I got up was stuck my head out the window to make sure everything was okay. And, you know, this is so close to home that it is really, you know, vulnerability. There's very little we can do to protect ourselves against anything so random as this. What we really like to see is you know, a more reassuring police presence, because speaking to people, certainly in this area, we just haven't seen the sort of level of surveillance we might have expected in the wake of incidents of this nature.
The police do say they're stepping up patrols, that they have made some arrests. What more would you like them to do, Simon?
The impression I got was that the police were making a very strong show of force in Castlefield on Saturday night. Now, this, I suspect, is probably intelligence-led, and this is where certainly local people would expect the criminals to be emanating from. I just wonder if, it might be more reassuring if they were actually patrolling the areas that are being, targeted by these people. It seems to me, a show of strength to warn off the criminals, which doesn't seem to be working, but nothing there to actually reassure the residents.
This isn't the first time this area has been targeted by vandals, is it? Wasn't there some trouble at the end of last year?
There certainly was. There was an incident where I think up to a dozen cars within a quarter of a mile radius were actually firebombed, and by that I mean completely destroyed.
Blimey.
Yeah.
And did anyone get arrested then?
There were rumours of arrests in that occasion, but this is one of the problems, and, speaking to a lot of people, we never find out the outcome of these incidents, and that's always a problem, I think, with victims of crime. People say to you, it would really be comforting if we knew that there'd been an arrest, there'd been a charge, there'd been a court case, but, unless they actually follow it through in the newspapers themselves, they're not really getting this feedback.
This is being linked to the verdict on the death of Habib Ullah. But I remember the riots across the country a few years ago. They supposedly started from the death of someone, but quite often it's just a load of chances, isn't it? Looking for trouble. What are your thoughts on it, Simon?
I certainly think the chances comment is probably valid. I mean, there may well be disquiet with regard to this process, but there is a judicial process. We know it's tortuous for people, but if we don't follow the judicial process, then the alternative is anarchy. And I think what we're looking at here is probably people cashing in on this. I note that the Justice for Paps campaign have made it quite clear they don't support any of this.
Oh, they were on the show last week, and they are embarrassed by it all and completely distancing themselves from it.
Yeah, as I say, there's a legal process to follow. It can be torturous. It can be very frustrating. I'm old enough to, remember back to the days of Blair Peach and remember how long that took to get resolved. But that really is, it's the only tool in the toolbox.
Simon, let's keep our fingers crossed. At least it burns itself out. Perhaps not the most appropriate phrase. That it comes to an end. Liberal Democrat councillor Simon Parker. 08459 455 555. Anthony's on the line. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Ian.
What you got for us?
Well, I can give you a reason for this point regarding the baby.
Yes?
Whatever. We can say 3 words. A dream, right? A mother and a father, and definitely the health. I don't know all the full story on this situation, but just forever dream, I want a baby.
Yeah.
It's not the best way for doing.
No.
I keep thinking a baby needs a proper father and a proper mother.
It's very rare these days, though, Anthony, isn't it, for a child to be brought up in that situation with a mum and dad?
It's whatever. We need to keep the morals at the top. Come on, the science is might make a good progress, but it's not everything worth. Come on, you can choose a lovely woman. Why not? If it's a gay or not a gay, it's no problem. You can be gay on Sunday night and keep be a man on Monday morning. If you want to,
is that what you do, Anthony? Is that what you do, Anthony?
Wait a second. Make babies on Monday morning. No, it's not possible for me.
What do you do Sunday night?
No, just daytime.
Anthony, speak to Catherine. Catherine, say hello to Anthony. He's making points.
Well, he's making some points. Be a gay on a weekend and a man on a Monday. Is that what you said?
Well, for have the baby, why not? Because if there's a dream, well, make it in the proper way. Come
There
on.
are plenty of men out there who happen to be gay and are still all man, Anthony.
No, wait a second. The be gay or not be gay is an option for yourself. That is no problem for me. Or ever, be gay just for saying I am a gay and I have a baby or I have a son is all right. He's have a right for have a son.
Anthony, do you really think being gay is something you can switch on and off? Could you fancy a man just on a weekend?
No, well, if I want the baby, well...
You could, if it was the only way to get a baby.
If he wanted the dream, make the dream in the right way.
Who would it be, Hugh Jackman?
If I what?
Who would it be then? Who would do it for you if you were going to be gay for a baby?
Wait a second, come on.
Well, that's what you're suggesting they do.
If I am a gay, right, and if I have a dream for have a baby, a son or a daughter, why not do it on proper way?
Well, because you don't fancy women, so you wouldn't be able to do it, if you know what I mean.
Well, if it's not fancy woman, try on the man, easily, and keep dreaming.
Anthony, I'm trying to place your accent. Where are you from, Anthony?
Well, I am a Portuguese, or I have.
Oh, I love it.
No, I speak very, very bad English.
No, Anthony, you speak excellent English. Listen, it's a great call. Will you give us a call again, won't you, sometime?
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 southbound is still very slow. Now it's from junction 14 for Milton Keynes to junction 13 for Bedford. And it's easing off northbound, though, through the accident at junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's very slow from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 14 for Heathrow. And having a look at the speed sensors in Beaconsfield on Amersham Road, it's looking very slow southbound from Longbottom Lane towards the A40 London Road. Also looking busy through the roadworks on the A1 Great North Road between the St Neots Junction and the Black Cat roundabout, and on the trains the 7:37 service from Luton to Bedford has been cancelled. Samantha Breff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good evening, my name is Roberta from the afternoon show, and I wish you a reggae Christmas and a reggae New Year to everyone.
It's 7:17. It is Monday, the 9th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Police patrols have been increased in High Wycombe after another night of cars being attacked by vandals. A Watford supporter has been left with a serious head injury after an assault following the Wolves game on Saturday. And a paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
BBC Three Counties Radio is about and for the people of Beds, Herts and Bucks.
It's the most creative radio station that I've ever known, with the most creative people.
Everyone loves what they do, first and foremost, and everyone feels and knows the responsibility they have, like the audience that they're talking to.
We've always been at the heart of the community. I'm not ashamed to say we are a local radio station.
It's because we cater for so many things. I'm a Luton Town fan, I can get my commentary. If I want great soul music, I can listen to Tony. If I want consumer advice, it's Jonathan.
The people who are making the radio, on and off air people, are just so very...
Hang on a minute. Why didn't Dealey mention me there? He mentions Tony Blackburn, he mentions the sport, he mentions... Well, why does Justin Dealey not mention... Can we get Dealey on the line, please? We'll listen to the rest of this, but...
Be very dedicated,
Can we get Dealey, please?
We're not scared to try anything.
Something we all take great pride in. We want it to sound like a good station, and I think that comes across on air.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Get me Dealey. Get me Dealey, please. I want to word with him. Don't care where he is, I want to speak to Dealey. Hazel's on the line. Good morning, Hazel.
Hello.
Furious with Justin Dealey. What have you got for us, Hazel?
Well, I was just wondering, I mean, I didn't know anything about this until you said about the young man his mother having his baby.
Yes.
But was it all done... I mean, a woman can't produce an egg outside her body unless it's done surgically and then fused with the man's sperm and then put back again.
Well, look, I hope you're enjoying your breakfast at home as we discuss sperm. Catherine?
It wasn't his mother's egg. It was a donor egg.
Right.
It was a donor egg.
Yeah, they couldn't do that. I mean, legally, ethically, you couldn't do that because that would... No.
Well, no, but I mean,
But
how...
still.
So it was put... The unit, if you will, was put inside the...
So they got a pipette full of the little baby seed and put it on her belly button, and then that went inside her tum-tum.
OK, Hazel, I'm not going to tell him, are you?
No.
Is that not right?
No.
He rubbed her bottom. No, it's Hazel. Listen, it's not genetically. It's not her baby. Okay.
She's the carrier.
Yeah.
So it was done. I mean, so it's obviously allowed legally.
Yeah, it's allowed legally. He's done nothing legally wrong. But the law of the land is not always the law of God, is it?
No.
It's wrong, and it's messed up, isn't it, Hayes?
It is. Yeah.
And I do. Do you agree with me? If you're a single person, I want to have a baby. Man or woman, if you're a single person and you want to have a baby, do you know what? Okay. Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yes. Well, I come from the age where it was tough. You know, if you wanted a baby, even if you were
had to get down to
a married couple, if you couldn't have a baby, you couldn't have a baby.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Hazel, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. We're getting some really good calls about this. Hazel and Anthony making some strong points.
Anthony suggesting gay men out there, here's the top tip. If you want to have a baby, don't go for all this, getting your mother involved. Just stop being gay for a day.
No. He said you can be gay Sunday, straight on a Monday.
A real man on a Monday.
That's my... Where's Dealey? I want to speak to... I'm serious, I'm angry.
We're trying to locate him.
No, he's... yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. Are you? Are you actually?
We actually...
OK, well, what are you doing then? You're surfing Facebook.
I'm researching.
What are you researching?
Thank you. Stay on the line.
Kelly's going to get him.
I'm just waiting for him to pull over
Just
safely.
relax.
I
cause
can't relax. I'm furious with him.
Well, I think you might be jumping the gun. I mean, why do you always think the worst of him?
Dealey!
Hello, boss. How you doing?
I'm furious with you, mate.
What have I done now?
It's what you haven't done, mate.
Go on, tell me.
It's what you've done.
Go on.
And what you haven't done.
Right, go on.
Should we have a little listen to this trailer, mate?
Yeah, go on.
Have a listen to this.
BBC Three Counties Radio is
Luke
about
Cashmead.
and
Calm down.
for the people of beds, hearts and bucks.
It's the most creative radio station that I've ever known, with the most creative people.
Everyone loves what they do, first and foremost, and everyone feels and knows the responsibility they have, like the audience that they're talking to.
We've always been at the heart of the community. I'm not ashamed to say we are a local radio station.
It's because... Right. I recognise that voice, that Cockney Barrow boy voice.
Oh, really? Because the first time you met me, you said to me, "Oh, Justin, you sound really posh."
What?
The first time I met
words,
you,
not mine.
That was 3 years ago, mate. Why have you clung on to that, you deviant? Now,
go on, carry on.
So my mate, Justin Dealey's coming on.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's he going to say? I'm looking forward to this. Let's have a little listen.
We cater for so many things.
Yeah.
I'm a Luton Town fan, I can get my commentary.
Okay.
If I want great soul music, I can listen to Tony. If I want consumer advice, it's Jonathan.
And
people who...
Oh, and then it stops.
Wow, I can't believe they've done that. I'll tell you why.
Oh, you are...
No. Watch the video.
No, mate.
No, watch the video.
I can't do that for legal
They
reasons.
had edited that. I said, if you want a great laugh in the morning, I've got Iain. That's what I said in the video.
You're saying he's a joke? You're saying he's a clown now?
No, I'm just saying it's good laugh, good bants.
Kath, stop stirring it. This is between me and Deals. All right, so...
Do you want me to hold your coat?
If I'll be honest, love, go back inside. I'll sort this out.
Leave it, Iain. It's not worth it.
It is completely worth it. Sorry?
Don't be a hero, mate.
You can kick your nose out of it as well.
Also, I've seen the video. I can vouch for Dealey. He does say that.
Well, why did he... Right, button it. Go and get yourself gin and tonic. I'll be in a minute. Justin.
Yes, boss.
Why didn't you mention me first?
Because, well, it's obvious what show I work on. I thought I would mention some of the other programmes first, just to give those programmes a bit of an ego boost.
Pity
because every day I'll give you one anyway.
He gave him some pity points.
You give me one?
Yeah, every day.
It's true, he does. I've seen it.
You two button it. Go inside. Wait for me in there.
Are we done?
Yes.
Okay. I'm on the streets, by the way.
Whereabouts can people come and touch you?
I'm in Caddington this morning at the moment. I was going to go to Junction 12, but I couldn't quite get on the motorway this morning. Traffic was very heavy going northbound. I'm on the streets talking about the gay single man who's been using his mother as a means to have a baby.
A means to an end.
Yes, and I can tell you one thing, that things are very tense on the streets. You'll hear those views in around 10 minutes' time.
Justin, thanks very much indeed. A Bedfordshire paramedic is calling for lighting to be installed along his county stretch of the M1 after narrowly avoiding becoming a casualty there himself. Paul Hardwick joins him on the line. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
What happened to you?
OK, I was travelling southbound just after finishing a night shift, and I saw a lorry in lane 1. There's no hard shoulder along that stretch. About 400 yards away from it, I decided to overtake. I went into lane 3 to give it a wide berth. And about 200 yards away, the back of the lorry exploded. And so I started braking, and then the lorry hit me, took me into the central reservation. I had to climb out of the car through the window, looking up at the HGV driver who was parked on my bonnet. He said, I didn't see it. I said, what do you think you saw? What do you think you hit? I don't know, it's down there. And the result of which was a 7-seater taxi that was pretty much demolished. It turns out it was unlit, broken down in the in lane 1.
Oh, blimey. That sounds terrifying, Paul.
It was. It's adrenaline brown.
And it's unlit there, is that right?
It's completely unlit, and there's no hard shoulder. And the vehicle had allegedly broken down with no lighting. The cam belt had gone.
Yeah.
There's no lighting, so the HGV hit it at probably 56 miles an hour. And then took me out.
Was anyone seriously injured?
The taxi driver had serious neck injuries.
Yeah. Blimey, I know
because they were still in the vehicle.
Yeah, oh dear. I know the stretch of road, Paul. I'm assuming you've spoken to authorities about this. I don't know, either the police or the Highways Agency. But if you did, what did they say?
The police officers on scene said it's a recipe for disaster.
Wow, gosh.
They have an incident every day on this stretch at this time.
Now, you're a paramedic as well, and you told one of my colleagues that you dread getting called out to this section of the M1.
We all do. At that time in the morning, because we know what we're going to face. When the traffic is slow, when the traffic management is on, it's not a problem. But during the night, when it's unlit, you've got, 60 yards of headlights in which to respond if anything comes in front of you.
And what kind of accidents are you seeing there, Paul, in your professional capacity?
All sorts. It's just anything stationary, you've got no time to react.
We spoke to the Highways Agency. They sent us a statement, and it says this: we keep safety on our network continually under review, and there's nothing at this stage to link the incidents that occurred on the M1 in Bedfordshire. In all cases, we work alongside the emergency services to clear incidents as quickly and as safely as possible. Your reaction to that, Paul? Yeah,
the guys on scene are agreeing with me, saying it is dangerous. Obviously, the Highways Agency have increased traffic capacity with very little cost to themselves by opening up this extra lane.
Paul, listen, and were you badly injured, Paul?
At the time, no. My adrenaline was rushing. I was running around like a mad thing. About 4 days after I seized up, I couldn't move.
Yeah.
So I've been off work since November.
Oh, blimey!
Just gone back.
Just gone back now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're on the mend, Paul, and I really appreciate you you telling us your story. Sounds absolutely terrifying, doesn't it? Your thoughts, please, on that, on the single lad whose mum was a surrogate woman, or him. I don't know. I'm not against surrogacy.
You just think it's a bit too close when it's your mum?
I'm old enough to remember the very first surrogate woman in this country. She was on breakfast television with Frank Boff. He wasn't involved, unusual, but yeah, I remember it. You know, so I've lived through the changes. I've seen the stories, the discussions, the ethics. I've lived through all that, but this is messed up.
You think?
Yeah, I do actually.
It's not his mum's baby. I don't know what you're.
It passed through her.
Well, he passed through her as well. It was good enough for him, wasn't it?
That's a good point, actually.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, it's very slow from junction 14 for Milton Keynes and 13 for Bedford, and that's because of an accident earlier. It's on the hard shoulder, but there are still delays. And also southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and 9 for Redbourne. It's stop-start there on the M1. On the A1M southbound, it's looking very busy around the cameras around junction 2 for Welham Green. And it's also looking quite foggy in patches, so that could cause some visibility issues. In Hitchin on Parkway, looking at the speed sensors, it's very slow around Paynes Park and London Road. And on the trains, the 7:37 service from Luton to Bedford has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines. There's been another night of cars being vandalised in High Wycombe. The attack started last week after an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police ruled that he died from misadventure. A Watford supporter is in a critical condition after being attacked after the game at Wolves on Saturday. The 44-year-old from Hemel was on his way from the ground to Wolverhampton Station when he and his friends were assaulted. A paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is the most dangerous road in the country. Paul Hardwick says that he and his fellow paramedics dread getting called out to the stretch between junctions 12 and 13, where 5 people have died since September. The weather will be cold and dry at first, turning cloudy with light rain this afternoon. Top temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius, that's 52 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers have been set 276 for victory in their must-win match against Bangladesh in the World Cup. Bangladesh made 275 for 7 off their 50 overs. Liverpool and Blackburn's FA Cup quarter-final finished goalless at Anfield. It means 2 of the 3 quarter-finals played so far will go to a replay. Here's Liverpool boss Brendan Rodgers.
I'm pleased we're still in the hat for the next round. Of course you want to win the home game, but it's credit to both sets of players. First to my own, on the back of 2 great wins in the league. Obviously it's a tough game for us, and we put everything into the game and just couldn't quite make the breakthrough.
Watford are joint top of the Championship with 4 other teams after their draw at Wolves, but MK Dons' automatic promotion hopes slipped after Saturday's 2-0 defeat at home to Preston in League One. The Dons are now 4 points adrift, but manager Carl Robinson still feels they can go up automatically.
That's it now. I think we won't have Swindon and maybe just Doncaster who've creeped into that sort of final spot in the top half of the table to play. So I'm running from here and in. The players can't use any excuses from now on. It's as simple as it is. They couldn't ask for better fixtures, and we have to hold on to that. This is the lowest point of it.
Luton Town's League 2 automatic promotion hopes were dented as they lost 3-2 at home to Morecambe. After the match, captain Steve McNulty and manager John Still were involved in an altercation with a Luton fan. Wycombe remain third after a draw at Southend, and Stevenage are closer to the playoffs after their win against Newport. In tennis, Britain will host France in the quarter-finals of the Davis Cup after victory over the United States. And finally, in rugby, Bedford lost 15-8 to Yorkshire Carnegie. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, more at 8 o'clock.
Call 08459 455 555.
Right. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Lots to talk about. Surrogacy. Should you be able to have a kid if you're single and you just fancy a kid, like you fancy a new sofa, or you fancy an Xbox, or you fancy a puppy? I don't know. But Justin, Eurovision.
Oh,
yeah. Now, the British... Is it British or English? English? British or English?
Great Britain, I think.
The the United Kingdom's Eurovision song entry has been chosen. It's a swing duo.
Yes.
Called Electro Velvet. Alex Lark, 35, and Bianca Nicholas, 26, will perform Still in Love with You at the contest's 60th anniversary in Vienna.
That'll be good.
Actor Mark Gatiss of TV's The League of Gentlemen tweeted, "Just heard our Eurovision entry. Doomed again."
I heard it sounded like the bird's eye potato waffles.
The waffly versatile. Justin, do you remember? Yeah. And we're trying to remember his name. Catherine only just remembers it. Do you remember the local gentleman who writes songs for Eurovision?
Oh, yes.
And you took his song to the street.
I did, yes.
Wasn't very popular.
It wasn't, no.
Fair play to him. He took the criticism on the chin.
He did indeed.
We should get him on. I wonder...
What's his name?
Sorry?
What was his name?
Steve or Mark or Colin.
Every year he said that I could write a song which would win us the Eurovision Song Contest. That song, we took that out on a ghetto blaster. People didn't like it.
No.
What I would say is that the guy you're talking about here, our new entry, he's local and vocal. He is from Welwyn Garden City.
Oh, right. What we need to do, and this may be pushing it a bit this morning, asking my team to do something.
Yeah.
Just the one. Oh, I see what you're doing. Sorry, it's a bit rude. What we need to get this song by Electro Velvet.
Yeah.
And we need to find the local Eurovision song man who wants to enter but is denied every year.
Whoa, hang on. Which one do you want?
What do you mean?
You want two things this morning?
I want the song.
Yeah,
well, I want it's one item. I want the song.
Kelly, have you heard this? Kelly, have you heard this?
No,
two demands at once.
When I make demands at WM, done like that. I want the Eurovision song entry, and I want the local gentleman, and I want to play it to him, and I want to get his thoughts on it. This guy's an expert. Local and vocal, Justin.
He is, and his song, by the way, is on YouTube. I believe it's had 10 views.
All right, well, that narrows it down. Yes. So I'll look up for things that have had...
Just find him!
He's from Buckinghamshire. I think he's from High Wycombe. Type in Eurovision, his name will come up straight away.
No, it hasn't.
We had him on 2 or 3 times.
He's been on a few times.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
All right, hang on.
He comes on, to be fair, and whenever he comes on, you give him a hard time, but he keeps coming back for more.
No, I don't give him a hard time. He's brilliant. He takes it.
Bee Gees caller. Roger
Hodgson.
Pam. It's not Pam.
Is it Roger Hodgson?
I won't be able to tell you straight away.
Oh, no, that's the fella from Supertramp. It's unlikely it's him. Someone will know. Scott, you're listening. You normally know when I make these weird references. Who are we talking about?
Hang on.
Anyway, Catherine will find him.
Yep.
And we'll have him on. This morning, Catherine.
Well, it's good to have a dream.
His number starts with 01494.
Speaking
of this, what's this? What have I found?
Go on, what's his name? Is Roger something, I'm sure.
Is it Raymond Marks?
That could be it.
That's the one.
Raymond Marks.
Legend in his own underpants.
Yeah, this is the man. Right, I'll give him a ring.
Get him and get the song, please.
Flipping heck.
What? Blimey! You have it cushy in there. Switch off. Hello, good everybody. Good morning. This is Britain now. And
One Direction are on. Give me a break.
Oh yeah, sorry. They won't be together much. They're splitting up, aren't they?
Are they?
Oh.
As long as Harry stays.
Justin! I don't care what people think. My baby's loved. I'm happy and nothing else matters. This is the gentleman. Kyle, who's had a baby via his mother. It's a surrogate baby, so genetically it's not hers, but... there are two things here. If you're single, I really want to have a baby. Well, tough. It's not how it works. And secondly, just his mum being his surrogate. His mum is the baby's mum and grandmum. That is very,
you need
very,
somebody
very
you
rude.
can trust in that situation, but that for me is
too trusting.
Yeah, a little bit too trusting.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really make our minds up on what to ask people at 10 to 7.
No.
It got very heated, very tense
very
between
tense.
you two in the studio. So I've just literally gone out with the facts this morning and asked people for their opinions, and again, it got a little bit tense on the streets.
How did you present the facts?
I just told
In a
them...
slightly bigoted, biased way?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No.
I just explained the facts, which you've just explained to our listeners this morning. People's faces. Some people didn't want to comment on this, but the people that did make comment, here's what they had to say. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's utterly disgusting, personally, and it's out of order. There's nothing wrong with gays. My daughter's gay, I can't help that. But I think to use your own mother as a surrogate mother is disgusting.
But why is it so disgusting?
Well, I just think it is. You know what I mean?
So no reason, you just think it is?
I just think it is, yeah.
Just tell me your thoughts on the facts that you've heard this morning about this story.
Well, I think that it's a good idea that he got his mum involved because, as I say, it's keeping the genes from his side of the family as well. And well, if he really wants kids, it's the only. Yeah. It's really the only way he's going to...
So you don't think it's weird in the slightest?
No, I think it's fine.
Perfectly normal?
Perfectly normal, yes, I would, yeah. I think it's all right, yeah.
It's a bit out of order, I'd say.
Again, out of order, that's the second time I've heard that phrase here. Why is it out of order?
Well, it's just not right. You shouldn't have your mum carrying your son, your child. It should be something that you do with someone else, not your own mother. Out of order, that's all I can say.
I'm just reading this story. It just strikes me as very, very odd, Justin.
It is a bit odd. All the opinions I've heard this morning, again, a lot of those we couldn't use on air, but the opinions that have come in, the majority of men I've spoken to think it's out of order, as they say, and quite why they're using that term I don't know, but they think it's wrong. But some of the ladies I've spoken to find it a bit more acceptable.
Here we go. There's a story in the Mail, and then there's a comment piece by Amanda Platel on the next page, right? And this is it. This is it, right? She says, what is so disturbing is Kyle's sense of entitlement. Why should his right to be a parent be inalienable? What about the rights of an unborn child and its future happiness? And that's the thing. I don't think we necessarily have a right to have children.
No. And that child at school, how is he supposed to explain to his friends? And let's be honest, kids at school, they are brutal. They can be really horrible. How is that child supposed to explain to his mates effectively where he's come from?
Just, can you take Eurovision to the streets, see if anyone's bothered?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe they've heard the song, or I mean, I think the BBC chose it the other. I don't quite know what the process is. I'm surprised it's still going on.
Whatever happens with Eurovision, whatever happens, and you can speak to Raymond later on. If we come up with a song which is the absolute mustard, we are not going to win, because we need to face facts. The rest of Europe absolutely hate us. That's not an excuse, but they don't vote for us, do they?
Here it is. Oh, they've tried to copy that woman. Who's that woman who does, is it not...
Oh, I know. Caro Emerald.
Yeah.
It does sound like potato waffles, doesn't it?
It's...
Yes.
Waffly versatile.
Well, don't get on the wrong train.
Oh, this is...
Don't go out in the...
This is worse than Gemini.
I feel like I should stick up for him because he's local, but that would be the only reason I'd be sticking up for him.
Take good care when I'm not there.
Waffly versatile.
Grill and bake 'em, fry 'em, beat 'em.
You be a good patient. Take your medication. I worry so each time I go. Try to keep...
Oh dear.
What was the one about the fella who was a schoolboy or something? Do you remember that one a few years ago?
No.
It was a rap about being in school or something, and there were sexy schoolgirls dancing.
You're not thinking of that, and again, as a local connection, I think one of them is from Kings Langley. Are you thinking about when they were on the plane?
Scooch.
Scooch.
No, not Scooch.
Because I like that one. I thought it was
there
good.
was one where they were in. He was a teacher in a school, and it was like a rap song.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, anyway. Justin, take it to the streets. Cheers, my dears.
I mean,
Waffly versatile.
we don't want to win, do we?
Oh, that's just awful. Steve!
Morning.
What do you reckon to this, Steve?
Oh, yes.
What do you reckon?
Sounds like something from the 30s, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Because they're drum and bass there, didn't they? Yes, Steve?
Yes, about the baby issue.
Yeah, the baby issue, as sorted by Stephen Dunstable. Yes, sir.
Well, surely it's like a modern Frankenstein, isn't it? We're still in the Frankenstein days with medicine.
Well, no, they've not chopped bits of...
bodies.
They've not made a baby up out of bits.
But you're mucking around with it. You can't do that thing. It's immoral. It's wrong.
What about all the people who've had IVF babies? Is that mucking around?
Yeah, well, that's wrong as well. They shouldn't muck around with it. We shouldn't pay for IVF either. Anyway, that's another issue. But the issue we're on about, if this person wants a baby, there's loads of children that need parents in homes, that are orphans or whatever. So, these people that go all through the palaver of having a baby, to me, are self-centred, selfish, and I'm not following that with another word, because I'll be banned.
Wow. 08459 455 555. I mean, you've... right. Can you not understand the desire to have someone who is genetically yours?
No, not in that situation. Not having your mother carrying the baby.
Have you got kids?
Yeah, I've got 2.
Why did you be selfish and have kids when there are already plenty out there? You could have adopted a couple.
Boom! Boom, Stephen!
Well, put it this way, if I was in the position to do it, I would do it.
You were, though, and you didn't, so don't give me that.
No, I wasn't. Listen, you don't know my mental status.
I think we do, Steve. Wobbly.
Yeah, it's great being wobbly, I said that. Better than being normal.
Thank you very much, Steve. We're all normal and we want our freedom. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you wish to give us a call. I'm not that bothered. We're not bothered about him being a gay lad. Which is why I'm kind of not dwelling on that, because it's irrelevant to the story.
You are a bit hung up on the fact that the carrier was his mother.
There are two things. One, he's single.
Yes.
Two, that the carrier is his mum.
Do you know my only worry?
Yeah.
He's quite young. He's only in his early 20s.
What's your name?
Well, no, he's 27, isn't he? He's a supermarket worker, 27 years old,
All right.
I think.
OK. Fair enough.
Hang on a minute, let's find his age. Well, his mum's 46, if that helps.
I know what you're saying, but I think...
He's 27. Okay. The thing is, when there's a baby inside a lady's belly...
Wow.
You kiss it and you talk to it and you stroke it. I'm not touching my mum's belly. Not for nobody. That's disgusting. That is disgusting, isn't it? Imagine kissing your mum's belly, going, hello, are you in there? Are you in there?
Oh, would there be a baby inside? Or is it just random?
Hello, little baby. But it's your mum you're doing that to.
Well,
that is messed up. And you know that is messed up. You know that is messed up.
But there's no suggestion he did that.
But that's part of the bonding process.
It's not really.
Oh, of course it is. Singing music and shining a light on it and watching it dance like a sea monkey.
I couldn't kiss my own, but I was pretty much quite bonded. I used to read too.
Kelly's moving towards the microphone. She's got something insightful to add.
No. No, she hasn't.
No, she has. I've got faith in her. She's moved towards the microphone. She's got something insightful to add.
Go on.
Don't let me down.
You're late for travel.
Oh, nuts.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, it's stop-start from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 9 for Redbourne. And on the A1M southbound, that's looking very slow from junction 8 for Hitchin to 7 for Stevenage. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's very slow from junction 22 for St Albans and 19 for Watford. And in Amersham on Gore Hill, that's looking slow southbound between the A413 and the A40 London Road. On the train departure boards, there are no major delays coming up in the next 40 minutes. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks, Emmy. 7:46, Monday the 9th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Police patrols have been increased in High Wycombe after another night of cars being attacked by vandals. A Watford supporter has been left with a serious head injury after an assault following the Wolves game on Saturday. And a paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a chilly start to the day. Lots of people were scraping ice from windscreens. It's pretty much gone now, it would appear, because temperatures are steadily rising. Now the sun is up and there is sun to be seen. Blue sky and sunshine, if a bit fresh this morning. Now the sun isn't going to hang around all day, I'm afraid. We have got some cloud moving in, coming in from the west and the south, and that's going to be with us from lunchtime. As it arrives, we're going to see the wind pick up a little as well. So turning a little cloudier, a little breezier, and also some rain going to arrive as well. Some patchy, fragmented rain arriving from lunchtime onwards, really. You may get one or two heavier bursts in there, but it's most likely to be fairly light. The maximum temperature up to around 11 Celsius. Now overnight tonight, dry, eventually. Going to hang on to that rain for the first part of the evening, but it actually moves eastwards, pulling the cloud with it. So beyond midnight, we'll see the rain disappear, and then finally through the early hours, the cloud disappearing as well. So the clear skies mean the temperature drops down to 1. The sheltered spots could see a frost tomorrow morning, but Tuesday is looking lovely. Plenty of sunshine despite the chilly start. Bit of cloud in the afternoon, but should stay dry. And the maximum temperature 10 Celsius, 50 degrees in Fahrenheit. And that's your forecast.
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits?
How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way round. You know, that is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon. Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio. Across beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, last week we told you about an undercover investigation into the controversial Yarlswood Immigration Centre in Bedfordshire. Reporters from Channel 4 News filmed 2 members of the Serco management team talking about detainees in a negative way.
They're all animals, depraved animals. Right, take a stick over there and beat them up.
Some of those women in there, they're horrible. They're really, really horrible. They're evil. You know, and there's a lot of them that are really nice, right? But some of them, these black women, they're f***ing horrible, man.
Well, following that, 2 members of staff were suspended with reports that some of the detainees were skipping meals. Heather Jones is a regular visitor to the facility as a member of the Yarlswood Befrienders group. Morning, Heather.
Good morning.
Are some detainees still skipping meals?
It's very difficult to get a clear picture. Certainly there have been some protests, such as skipping meals. I don't think it's been particularly widespread, and most of those women are eating food that they're buying in the shop themselves.
What's been going on at Yarlswood since we last spoke?
It's difficult to tell from the visit hall. Some of the women I have seen in the last week have been quite upset by what they have seen. Some have said, well, they ought to have an apology. I don't know whether that has since happened. Some of them don't, they're more concerned about what is going on with their case and remain focused on that.
We had a message left on our answer phone here at BBC Three Counties Radio. I don't know if you were made aware of it, from a very distressed-sounding woman, I won't give her name, who claimed she was from Yarlswood. And we have been unable to track this woman down. And she sounded in a very agitated state. Are people there upset?
Oh, yes. I did hear a recording of the message, and it sounds very much like a lot of the messages that are left on my phone regularly.
She sounded very panicked and was basically saying, well, can someone come here now?
Yes. Often people who contact their befrienders think we are going to be able to get them out, which, of course, we can't. We can be there with them. We can support them, give them a lot of emotional support. Sometimes there are positive things that we can suggest they should be talking to a solicitor about. Sometimes they're not even aware of the services that are available within the centre, because when they're detained, they are so distressed, they don't take in information that they are given. Sometimes there are other organisations that would be particularly relevant to their case that can offer some support and assistance.
What should happen now at Yarlswood, Heather?
Well, the detention inquiry report again wants to limit detention to 28 days. From the report, they compare our asylum system with the Swedish system, which uses caseworkers, and they have case management, early intervention, there's a welfare and rights framework, and that's all in the community. The figures that they had were from 2013, where of the 14,000 odd refused asylum seekers, 76% left voluntarily after their cases were concluded. Only 2,000 and just under 3,000 people were detained. They had 54,259 applications in that year. In the UK, there are only 46% of people who refused asylum voluntarily left. There were only 23,000 compared to the 54,000 in Sweden applicants that year. In detention in Sweden, the average stay was 5 days. And we're not in touch with anyone that has been detained that length of time. That's not long enough for people to get into contact with us usually. Most of the women that we are talking to on a daily basis, who we are visiting regularly, have been detained for 2, 3, 4, 5 months and longer at enormous cost. Why?
Heather, I really appreciate your time on this. Thank you very much indeed. And we did receive a call last week, I think it was, from a young lady claiming to be at Yarlswood, sounding very agitated, and she left a message. It was a little bit difficult to understand, not what you were saying, but what you wanted from us. If you do want to give us a call, may I suggest that you ask for Catherine? And someone will either put you through to her or take a message for her. And if you call sort of between 9 and 11, it's probably the best time, really, in the morning. So if you do want to make contact with us, then call the number that you called and ask to speak to Catherine or leave a message for Catherine. And, I don't know how it works in there, but if there is some way that we can get back in touch with you, I don't know if there's a phone number in a dormitory or something like that, then do let us know.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's all right, isn't it, Catherine? I've given out your name as a point of contact.
No, it's fine. That's great.
Because she sounded very upset, that woman, and do have no... it sounded a particularly genuine call, but I couldn't quite... We were struggling to work out what it was she required from us.
And what was happening.
Yeah, so do give us a call again. I've asked you to do some production work. What the hell is going on?
It's done.
What?
It's done.
Oh.
It's all sorted.
I was all set to unleash my fury.
Bad luck.
I've got Balls of Fury.
Have you?
On DVD. It's a great film.
Is it? What's it about?
Ping pong.
Oh.
That's
sorted. So we're going to be speaking to Raymond Marks.
Okay.
And he'll be giving you his considered opinion on the new Eurovision. He wants to know two things.
Yep.
Perhaps you could do this.
Yep.
I mean, I could Google it, but...
Yeah, go on.
He wants to know what the song is, how they were chosen, and how it was decided that was the best song.
Right, the song
as you know, he thinks he's had the answer for some years, and no one's asking him.
No, he's good. The BBC committee picked it.
Suits.
The Suits picked it. No, I think this fella's makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you got him on. Well done.
Yeah, he's happy to do it.
Next time, I'm not going to criticise you. I'm not.
Go on.
No, well.
Go on, I dare you.
Initiative.
Wow. I didn't know about this fella. I was reading the news then and quite happy. There's glass there. You can't hit me with your paper.
Ray is near Bedford. Mysterious. Ray, I like it. What have you got for us?
Good day, Ian.
Good day, Ray.
This child that's going to be born from a mother.
It's happened.
Oh, I tell you what.
It's happened. It's out. Popped out.
It seems like a little bit of incest, if you ask me. I know it's very controversial, but if you, in the animal kingdom, if you, as a breeder, breed animals of direct genetic DNA, in other words, mother with the brother or something to that effect, you get a lot of animal defects. In other words,
well, this baby is genetically not connected to the mum. It's all from another woman. So there is none of the mum in the baby. It was just held inside her tum-tum and came out through her woo-wah.
Well, do we know that? Was it not a C-section?
Oh, I don't know. Let's have a little look.
Because she's an older mother, sometimes they have a C-section. Would that make it more palatable for you?
If anything, that would make it worse.
Oh, really?
Using... on face value, says the Mail, it's a story to make anyone recoil. But Anne-Marie simply carried the child. Using a donor egg fertilised by Kyle's sperm, she became the first woman in the UK to be a surrogate for her own mum.
Son.
Yeah.
Son.
It's a lot like incest, isn't it? Going back to the Americans.
To the Americans?
Yeah.
What do the Americans do?
The outback ones.
Oh.
Well, yes, it squealed like a piggy. Thank you very much indeed. I'm trying to find out whether it was a C-section or whether it was a vaginal birth.
It shouldn't make any difference.
Well, then why did you bring it up, mate?
Well, I just thought...
No, mate,
that seems to be a sticking point for you.
You were clutching at... when she was checked out by the GP, it turned out... I thought that was that. The cost of the procedure, around £14,000, was made up entirely through savings, with a little help from Anne-Marie and Alan. I don't know who Alan is. I went for 12 months without a holiday to save up enough holiday time and money, says Kyle. Oh, did you, Kyle? I didn't go for holiday for a whole year. Didn't go on holiday for a whole year. Well done, Alan. You must love that baby.
That's called sacrifice.
I'll find out whether it came from a thingy bob or a what's it in a second.
Wow.
Hang on. What?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's stop-start on the M1 southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and 9 for Redbourne. And the M25 anti-clockwise is very busy between junction 22 for St Albans and 16 for the M40. On the M40, it's slow from junction 5 for Stokenchurch to 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. And looking at the speed sensors in Aylesbury on the A41 Tring Road, that's looking very slow between the Esso Garage mini roundabout and Bedgrove. On the A1 Great North Road, it's very slow through the roadworks from the Eton-Soken junction towards the Black Cat roundabout. And on the train departure boards, the 8:20 service from Luton to Sevenoaks has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
It just gets worse and worse, this story. She had an elective C-section.
OK.
The consultant warned me about the dangers of a C-section and wanted a natural birth, but I said no. I didn't want to push this baby out because I felt it wasn't mine. Oh, my...
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock, I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines: more cars targeted by vandals in High Wycombe. A Watford fan has been left with critical head injuries, and paramedics want safety reviewed on the M1.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's been a fourth night of cars being vandalised in High Wycombe. The attack started after an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police ruled that he'd died from misadventure. Louise lives in the Cressex area of the town and witnessed one of the incidents.
Literally, within the space of them running up the road, they were literally smashing car windows as they were running past them. Literally, it was as quick as that, running straight past, not even stopping. You know, glass everywhere, car alarms going off, and obviously on the phone to the police.
A Watford supporter is in a critical condition after being attacked after the game at Wolves on Saturday. The 44-year-old from Hemel was on his way from the ground to Wolverhampton Station when he and his friends were assaulted. A man will appear at Cambridge Crown Court today charged with the murder of a man from Potton in Bedfordshire. Jess Smith was found shot dead on New Year's Day. Jane Killick reports.
The body of the 36-year-old father was discovered inside a car at Burwell in Cambridgeshire. Post-mortem tests showed Mr Smith died from a gunshot wound to the back. 42-year-old Mark Mosley from First Drove in Burwell is charged with the murder of Mr Smith and the attempted murder of another man who was injured.
A paramedic says the Bedfordshire stretch of the M1 is one of the most dangerous roads in the country. Paul Hardwick says his colleagues dread getting called out to the section between junctions 12 and 13. Jill Comby from the Home Counties North Advanced Drivers Group says hard shoulder running may be adding to the problem.
Yes, there are dangers, and I think with switching off lights, a lot of the onus is thrown back onto the motorist to keep himself as safe as he possibly can. But really, as with any kind of driving, motorway or wherever, it's up to the motorist to have a really good look ahead, around them, behind, to know what's going on and adapt to their driving.
The first attempt to fly a solar-powered plane around the world has begun in Abu Dhabi. It will take the Solar Impulse and its two pilots 5 months to complete the 12 stages of the flight. Bob Van Linden from the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. says it's about much more than two men going on an adventure.
Fossil fuels are limited, and we need to find a way to still power our machines for decades, if not centuries, to come. And solar power is cheap, it's clean. It has its drawbacks, but this flight is to attempt to demonstrate that they're making major steps into improving its efficiency.
In sport, England's cricketers have been set 276 for victory against Bangladesh in the World Cup. England, who need to win the match, are now 7 without loss in reply. The weather will be cold and dry at first, turning cloudy with light rain this afternoon. Top temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius, that's 52 degrees Fahrenheit. You can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
Waffly versatile. It's like a Caro Emerald. Waffly versatile. Waffly versatile.
Well, don't get on the wrong train.
And what? The Who? No, it's like, who's that band? Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Who are they?
I think it was Cotton Eye Joe by Cotton Eye Joe.
OK. This is your song, Britain. This is the Eurovision Song Contest entry for this year. We're going to be getting an expert on in about 20 minutes. Local songwriter who says he could do much better. Well, hang on a minute. My 5-year-old could do better than this.
Some younger guys.
Your thoughts on it, please?
Tantalize you with their lies. You must
08459 455 555. Also, the gay man who is single, his mum's been a surrogate mum for his baby. It just feels weird, doesn't it? Oh, go away. Oh, no. Oh, no, I can't make it go away. Oh, hang on a minute. Right, there we go.
The Three Counties Radio.
There we go. Smoothly done. Smoothly done. Smoothly done. We'll get some of your texts in a bit if you want to give us a call, though. 08459 455 555. Now, there's been a fourth night of vandalism in Wickham, with police saying they'll be stepping up patrols until they catch all of those responsible. Local reports suggest up to 200 cars have been damaged this weekend, with their windows smashed and graffiti sprayed on the bodywork in attacks linked with the death in custody of a man called Habib Ullah. He died in 2008 after being stopped and searched by police. The inquest last week recorded a verdict of misadventure. Well, Mohammed Khalil sits on the Thames Valley Independent Advisory Groups. We spoke to him last week. Morning, Mohammed. This is getting out of hand, isn't it? 200 cars damaged since last Tuesday.
Good morning to you. Yes, absolutely getting out of hand. And I was actually out on patrol with police late Saturday evening. And as I said in the press statement, turning up to see faces of innocent victims of crime, putting plastic covers on their smashed car windows on a cold night was a very, very depressing experience. And
what are the police doing about it?
Well, they say they brought in extra resources.
It's not working, is it?
If the numbers are going up the way they are, clearly there's issues to be dealt with.
Why aren't they just flooding the streets for the next few nights with police officers?
Well, I don't think they've got unlimited resources.
No, but 200 cars have been smashed up. They've got to increase their presence, haven't they?
Presence has been increased. We had 2 people on horseback, 2 officers on horses, and we've had extra officers from other areas. But I'm not here to defend the police actions. I'm here to express the anger of the community. One of my family members had to pay over £1,000 to replace the windows on their cars, and other people are worried, are their cars going to be smashed tonight? This is totally unprecedented. As you said, estimated to be nearly 200, around the 200 mark, smashed cars in the area. That is very, very worrying.
Do we know, Mohammed, if insurance companies are paying out on this?
In some cases, it's clear some people are paying themselves because they don't want to have their excess affected.
Yeah.
The other thing is that people forget this will affect the postcode. So if you've had a number of cars smashed in a certain postcode, insurance will look at that next year and start rating that area as a higher risk.
What's the mood like there, Mohammed?
The mood is sadly not good. People, quite rightly, are waking up in the morning, and one of the depressing sights I saw was someone with graffiti scrawled in a massive banner across their car, driving to work because they simply could not stop and deal with it. They had to get to work. They woke up and found that horrible criminal damage to their car. People are reporting it to the police, but, what can the police do? They do need to deal with, as I said in my press statement, that any tensions and mistrust between elements of the community and the police do need to be addressed.
And what is the graffiti? Is there any variation on the graffiti, or is it this NJNP? Is that it, or is there anything else?
Predominantly, I've heard it's NJNP, which stands for No Justice, No Peace, which was associated with the Justice for Paps campaign. But we've spoken to certainly the family of Habibullah, who was the person involved in the death in custody, have absolutely no connection to this. I'm pretty sure the mother, the sisters, and Habib's, first family, primary family, absolutely condemn all this.
Ah, Mohammed, it's a depressing story. Let's hope it gets sorted out very, very soon, shall we? Mohammed Khalil sits on the Thames Valley Independent Advisory Group. If you've been a victim to this, maybe it's happened in your street, or it's happened to your car, or your mum, or your brother, or something, then do give us a call. 08459 455 555.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
This is the story that keeps on giving. More evidence on the panther. I don't know if you've seen the picture I've retweeted from Iain, who managed to take a picture of the panther in his house last week.
Yeah.
Not a great picture last week, not a great picture this week, but we're certainly building up an image. Iain says, I camped by the lake and was woken by the panther's breath on my face. I was terrified, but took this pic. And it appears to be a very... It's blurry, but you can make out... Well, you can make out a terrifying eye and a black face.
Wow.
It is. I've just retweeted that.
Let me just check that. Wow.
I think maybe we should
This is,
retweet that from the Three Counties account so that more people get to see it, because it really is absolutely terrifying, Ev, that there is a panther on the loose.
We are idiots, by the way.
Sorry?
We're idiots.
Who said?
Mostly you. But Stu in Bedford says...
He's got a point.
Cotton Eye Joe. Wasn't Cotton Eye Joe, it was Rednecks.
That was
With an
you that
X.
were the idiot.
Well, you know.
That was you that were the idiot.
Oh, sorry.
That was you that were the idiot.
All right, I'll be the idiot this time.
We got any texts? Come on then, let's have
Anna
it.
Milton Keynes, surrogate mother. How did the baby receive its nutrients while being carried in the womb?
Yeah.
There is a great deal of grandmother in this baby, which is being disregarded.
Disregardoed. Is she going to breastfeed it?
No, it's not her baby. She won't do that. If she's not going to give birth that way, she's not going to feed
I'm
it
talking
that
about the
way,
woman
is
who's
she?
just texted in.
Oh, Helen in Milton Keynes, no plans.
If she loves it so much, why don't she marry it as a baby?
Stu in Bedford is feeling a little bit sad today, so maybe we could... last day of my notice today, so this is maybe the last time I get to listen to you.
Well, no.
Show. It's... I'm not going to lie, I'm slightly emotional. Keep up the great work, Ian, Catherine, Kelly and Justin.
Put your socks on, mate.
Hang on, we've got a podcast.
Yeah, no excuse.
What does it mean it's the last day of his notice? What does that mean?
Means that he will be changing jobs, so maybe he'll be working different hours. Maybe he'll be able to lie in bed a bit more.
Well, you can listen to the radio in bed. That's how I listen to LBC.
You can listen to it online now as well.
Computers.
lbc.com.
There are certain colleagues that I will not listen to in bed because it feels wrong.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That happened.
Gary and Luton, I hope this bloke...
I don't listen to this radio station.
Neither does anyone else.
You do?
Yeah.
You listen to JVC. I hope this bloke who got his mother to have his baby wasn't there watching the birth, because that would be wrong, says
Yeah, that would be weird, wouldn't it? She'd be all out on display and it's his mummy.
No, but not her private parts, because she was having a C-section.
But still her boobies.
No, you don't see boobs in a C-section.
Oh, don't you?
No, I don't think you do.
I reckon I could if I tried.
Janet says, I know on a biological level it isn't, but the surrogacy story has a vaguely incestuous feel to it. She carries her own grandson.
Oh, this is...
Janet?
Listen to this. This is messed up. As I read this story, I become more and more disgusted
I think it's
with
beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
All right, as little Miles was born, he was passed straight to his dad.
Yeah.
He came out quickly. I got a good view of him, but all Mum could see was his bottom. I cut the cord, so he's touching her internals.
No, he's not.
He's touching her... that is connected to her, so that's part of her. I cut the cord, they handed me to him, and I put him straight on my chest for skin-to-skin contact.
Yeah, nice. That's what you
It's
should
a moment
do.
I find really hard to describe. No, it's not. You've got to put a baby on your chest.
Beautiful. You remember that surge?
But I was so relieved. He cried and I cried.
Yeah.
It felt right, and I thought, finally, after all the stress and upset, he's here and he's mine. He can come and live with me. Now, here's the bit.
Because up to that point, that's what everyone feels. Go on.
Sky Blue, it is not you. And this is it. I knew Mum had the legal right to take him if she wanted. And the hospital wouldn't allow me to take him home on my own, as it was against their policy. So even the hospital know what he's doing is wrong.
No, that's just standard with a surrogate.
Oh, for goodness sake. So his mum has got more rights over the baby than he has. The baby's grandmother...
Yeah.
This is so messed up.
The woman who gives birth to a baby, standard. If she's not married to the father, she gets more rights. That's standard. And that's why you do it with a family member, because the trust is there. She's not going to whip him away.
Oh, God, this is disgusting. Her name is on the birth certificate. Oh, that is wrong. When it came to signing the birth certificate, Anne-Marie was reluctant. It didn't feel right, she says. Miles isn't my baby, but by law we had to sign it, and Carl was worried we'd get into trouble if we didn't. Today, Miles lives in his father's tidy two-bedroom flat. What a strange detail to include. The only evidence of a baby is the beautiful, pure white cot in the nursery, over which hang a few coloured bunting flags.
See, they're making it sound weird by saying this, aren't they?
Yeah.
The only evidence of a baby, because he's too tidy.
Do you know why they're making it sound weird? Because it's weird.
No, it's not weird. It's not weird. It's different.
Carl believes Miles will be an only child. I'd have liked more children, but I don't want to push my luck, and I'm not greedy. Well, I suggest you are, sir.
How old's the mum?
46.
That's all right.
His mum?
Yeah.
Yeah, 46.
No, mate. I'm so sorry. No.
The highway code, says Dave in Sunderland.
What's that got to do with it?
I'm changing the subject.
All right, thanks.
M1, lights.
That's where they had it.
No, they never.
They never had it. She's a surrogate.
That'd be wrong. The highway code states the driver who's broken down must display a hazard triangle, something he could have done while the battery still kept his hazards on. What, in the middle of the motorway? Why does this government have to idiot-proof every square inch of this country? People can't use common sense or follow the rules. It's the government's fault, of course, and something must be done. Linda.
Did he eat the placenta? Good question raised by Scott on Twitter. Did he eat his own mum's placenta?
I don't think he did. I agree with the paramedic. I used to drive from junction 8 to junction 12. An idiot could have told them there would be accidents when the lighting was removed. It's very disorientating when you go from light to dark. Why on earth did the planners bury their head in the ground or making stupid decisions to save money? I tried to Google, has anyone done a survey regarding the increase in accidents between 10 and 13? I couldn't find anything.
Very specific Google.
There needs to be a risk assessment done, as it obviously wasn't before they removed the lighting, says Linda, who's livid.
Livid Linda.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Beaconsfield, the A355 has a lane blocked by an accident at the A40 London Road, and that's causing delays from the A413. On the A1 Great North Road, there's looking very slow through the roadworks at the Black Cat roundabout on all approaches. It's causing delays. And the A5 southbound has queues building up from Lynch Hill towards the M1 Junction 9 for Redbourne southbound. And the M1 southbound, that's stop-start between Junction 12 for Flitwick and Junction 9 for Redbourne. Looking at the M25 on the cameras, the anti-clockwise is looking very heavy between Junction 22 for St Albans and 16 for the M40. And on the trains, the 824 service from Bedford to Brighton has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:16. It is Monday, the 9th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's been another vandalism spree in High Wycombe, with numerous cars being attacked over the weekend. A man will appear in court today charged with the murder of Jess Smith from Potton, who was found shot dead on New Year's Day. And a paramedic says safety on the M1 in Bedfordshire needs to be reviewed after a number of fatal accidents.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hang on a second. Morning.
I'm over here.
Hello.
Good morning.
You sat in a different corner.
Isn't
right.
your chest hair going white?
Isn't it just? You're the first person ever to comment on that.
It really is going white.
Isn't
like,
it?
Like an old lady.
Well, hang on a minute. No, like Burt Reynolds, I think you mean.
Yes, I mean that.
Like
yes.
Burt Reynolds.
Yes.
It is, isn't it? I'm at this stage now where everything's going grey.
Go with it.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm embracing it. I just we should hurry up.
Really?
I want to be complete. Imagine if I had completely white hair. Wouldn't I look good?
Yeah. No, you would. Yes, that's right.
I'd look like Ernie Ormond.
But
but stylish. Stylish.
But let it happen.
Yeah,
gently.
bring it on.
It's a process, isn't it?
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm actually going a little bit grey.
Where?
A little bit more. I know
You're
you
ginger,
can't.
so
I
you
know.
can't see it.
With my colour of hair, you can't really see it. But when I have my hair cut and it kind of falls on my lap while he's cutting, I have a little rummage through it.
Yeah. What?
And there's loads of little white hairs in there as well.
On the hair in your lap.
It's happening.
I'd rather go grey than bald.
Oh.
Wouldn't like to be bald.
Oh. No, well, I wouldn't like to be bald, not because I think it doesn't look nice, because I think it can look very smart.
I think it's hideous.
No, it can.
It's a genetic defect.
Baldness can look very smart on the right face.
Yep, you haven't got that.
I haven't got the right face. I've got a slightly big head.
No, you wouldn't work.
And,
just... Well, no, actually, do you know what? It would be all right. If you had that balding in the middle, but you kept the side bit, that would be all right. No, it would work.
Oh, thanks very much.
But you're another 10, 15 years on you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're on an old face.
I'm not going to go bald because my hair is very thick.
Okay.
So much so that
like some of your callers.
My barber has to thin my hair out. Do you have to have yours?
Yeah, I have to have mine thinned out. Yeah, which is great. But then it means within a few weeks it goes all big and bushy. I'm growing my hair a bit.
Are you?
I say growing it. I'm not going to go, like hippie style, but I'm just going to have a little bit of length. I like a bit of length every now and then, so I'm going to pursue that.
Well, I feel we've really explored one another's hairs this morning,
haven't we? Just, and maybe tomorrow we can do it literally, like monkeys,
like a couple of gorillas.
Yeah,
we picked our way through one another's hair.
Yeah, it's a very erotic image. Something for the ladies and indeed some of the gentlemen to think about. What's on your show this morning?
Coming up on the big phone in this morning, how should the person who poisoned Jagger at Crufts be punished? It's front page news today. An Irish setter called Jagger has been poisoned at Crufts. The dog was shown on Thursday, returned home on Friday afternoon, and by Friday evening he was pronounced dead. The vet was suspicious, and on performing a post-mortem discovered undigested steak in his tummy laced with poison.
Wowzers.
Local dog trainer Nina Cole has told my team this morning whoever poisoned Jagger should be dealt with in the same way as someone who'd poisoned a child.
Oh.
Well, from 9 this morning, I want your reaction to this. How should the person who poisoned Jagger at Crufts be punished? Surely it should be in exactly the same way that you would punish a murderer of a human being. No? Why have you gone quiet?
I don't want to fall out with you.
Well, you're not saying you don't agree with that.
Yeah, I do. I do not agree with that.
Why not?
Police are following all the leads.
But you see, this is the thing. People are making these flippant jokes.
Yeah.
This is like a member of someone's family.
Yeah.
This is like, seriously, having a dog is like a member of the family.
Okay.
If some disgusting person decides to poison a member of your family, how would you feel?
I'd be very upset, Jonathan.
It's exactly the same with a dog.
Sorry, Jonathan.
You don't agree, do you?
No, I don't.
From 9 this morning, how should the person who poisoned Jagger at Crufts be punished? I'd like your call on 08459 455 555.
Taser?
No, I'd lock them up for life.
Thank you.
Every Sunday morning from 9.
I play soul music. I've always had a deep love of soul music. Soul music is such happy music anyway. When I say soul music, I'm talking about Motown and Philadelphia.
Tony Blackburn.
The artists that I'd play really would be people like Luther Vandross, Alexandra and Neil, Sister Sledge, a lot of the Motown, Diana Ross and the Supremes.
With 2 hours of great soul music for Sunday morning.
There's some good new soul records that come out. I do include them, but they're mainly classics. Most people like hearing music from the 70s and 80s, and particularly the jazz funk era.
Tony Blackburn.
Music has been and always has been a very strong part of my life.
Every Sunday morning from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
By the way, if you want to hear Tony Blackburn and myself in conversation, i.e. having a chat, there's a podcast you can go and get. Special podcast. I've just EMPS'd you, Catherine. Special podcast with me and Tony Blackburn having a chat for about half an hour, and it's a cracking listen, and he's a thoroughly good top bloke, and he's an excellent gentleman. What? You passed me... that's true. That is true. What did you ask?
We're trying to get hold of Raymond Marks, who's agreed to speak to us. He's our Eurovision expert.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I don't think he's put his phone down in the cradle properly. It's permanently engaged.
Raymond, put your phone down in the cradle properly, otherwise you're going to be permanently engaged. And we want your local vocal expert advice on, well, on this. A waffly versatile. It's just
Sounds like a Nintendo.
It does actually. Sounds like some sort of platform
game. A waffly versatile.
Well, on the wrong train.
What do you reckon, Just?
Well, do you know what? I'm surprised that Raymond, this is the guy who thinks he can write us a Eurovision-winning song, but he can't even put his phone down properly.
He's going to come on. Catherine has spoken to him. We will get hold of him. We'll get him on today, and if not today, definitely tomorrow. But we will get hold of him. This is it. This is our entry. It's not even. I mean, it's not even like jokingly bad. You know, it's not even. Oh, this is a tongue-in-cheek. You know that this is the best these people could do.
Yeah, I know. It's very disappointing. But then again, it doesn't matter what we put out for Eurovision because we are never going to win that competition. We should be brave, boss, and we should say, do you know what? This year, we are not going to enter. That would win over the people's respect.
We should pull out early.
Yeah.
We should totally just.
Well, instead of going in half-heartedly.
Yeah, just pull out now and say, do you know what? I'm not having this.
Yep.
We don't really want to win, though, do we?
Let's get these fellas, whip them out, and let's go home.
Why aren't we allowed to actually put our best acts forward? Is that a rule? Can we not put Adele or Sam Smith forward?
We had Blue.
No one.
Oh yeah.
No one wants to. No one wants to because they know that they would get trounced because it's all about politics.
There used to be a myth, didn't they? Or I don't know whether it was true. I think it's a myth. That these people used to write songs for Europe but didn't go in themselves. But I think that's a load of old.
Justin.
Yes?
You've taken... Sorry?
Yes?
Have you taken it to the streets?
Oh, wiki, wow. Yes, I have. I've got some audio coming up here. I took a ghetto blaster into a kitchen a moment ago and caused some havoc in there. Take a listen to this. Good morning, madam. What's your name?
Debbie.
Debbie, what do you think about this Eurovision vibe? Is it for you?
It's catchy.
Dance song. Yeah. So you quite like it? Out of 10, how do you score it?
6.
6? 6 and she likes it. Okay. Madam, what do you think about this tune?
Oh, it's awful. I don't rate it at all, actually.
I mean, when Eurovision comes on, do you even care about Eurovision?
No, I don't. I don't like it at all.
Tell us why it's such a turn-off for you.
It's just... I don't know, you should get someone who's really good to sing it and not just choose anything, so we stand a chance.
That's not a great review of our Eurovision song.
No,
Thank you very much. Take care.
OK, bye.
So it hasn't gone down too well so far this morning, but again, you know, it's early in the morning. Before 9, I could have people rushing up to the radio car saying, do you know what, that is a serious tune. I think we are going to win Eurovision.
Have we got our fella yet, our Eurovision expert?
In fact, Raymond, if you're listening, and I hope you are, because he did ask me for the station's, what's it called, digits.
Maybe he has been listening, that's why he's not answering.
Oh, come on, Raymond, do you know what he's like? 08459 455 555, Raymond, please, if you could give us a call.
Oh, right.
08459 455 555. Caroline in Bedford is one person who will speak up for Electro Velvet.
Oh, yeah.
Eurovision song, love it, quirky. And let's be honest, quirky wins. It'll probably do well.
It won't do well. It will do terribly.
They might do a special dance or take their clothes off. That wins, doesn't it?
No, it's not going to happen.
Depends what they look like.
Justin, it's annoyed me, that song. It has annoyed me.
Karen in Welling Garden City says that new Eurovision song sounds a bit like will.i.am song Bang.
Here's the one I was speaking of earlier on. Here we go.
Oh no.
Do you remember this?
What was that?
Because it was sexy schoolgirls in the competition.
It's worse than St Winifred's choir.
Daz Sampson, this was. Here we go. Get ready. Here we go. Yeah. Gonna rap now. Gonna rap a Eurovision style. They're gonna say the words and not sing. So they were trying to get hit. Here we go. Gonna say the words with my mouth. I'm not gonna sing, I'm gonna say them. Here I come.
Dwelling on the past from back when I was young, thinking of my school days and trying to write this song. Classroom schemes and dreams, man, they couldn't save me, cause my days were numbered when I signed down on AV. Teenage kids running out.
Middle-aged white man doing a rap, trying to sound hit for the kids.
That was back. You were saying, oh, you were so good. You were so good.
I had a message through from Colin Berry about this one.
Hey, the legend that is Mr. Colin Berry. Let's all stand up and salute him. Come on, guys. Stand up, boys. Stand up.
the verdict of the United Kingdom panel. Do you remember?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He says that was Daz Sampson, Teenage Life, did well in our charts.
Yeah, it did do well in the charts. I remember Wogan getting behind this rubbish.
He says, quite glad not to be involved anymore. There's no easy way to select a song, but having a selection whittled down by voting to 6 to 7 on a show called A Song for Europe and then getting regional UK juries to vote seemed a reasonable way of doing it. Not just sticking a pin in the way we've jogged along these past few years.
Do you know one of my ambitions is to be the person representing the UK in the Eurovision when they go, well, we can go live now to London, and you go, hello, Europe, the rest of the world, and then you get a little funny line in.
Yeah.
The scores from the UK are... And then I'd love to do that.
But they always sound cooler, the European ones. Hello, London.
Hello, London. I'm not wearing any pants and I'm touching myself. I would like to give 5 points to the European song for Britain.
Exactly. Was it you?
Hello there. I'm not wearing any trousers and I'm touching my bottom.
I'd like to watch you do it for a different country.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm up for any of them. Apart from the former Soviet states. I don't want to get involved with those guys. Terrible track record. Justin?
Yes, boss.
Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1 Great North Road, it's looking really busy from the...
That was an accident. I do apologise, Sammy. It was an accident, please.
Okay, I don't believe you. To the Black Cat roundabout, it's very slow through the roadworks. In Beaconsfield on the A355, there's a lane blocked by an accident at the A40 London Road, and that's causing delays from the A413. In Margate, the A5 southbound's very slow from Lynch Hill to the M1 junction 9 for Redbourne, and on the M1, that's looking very slow from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 9 for Redbourne. We had reports that that's stop-start because of those queues. On the A1M southbound, it's queuing because of people looking at an accident on the opposite carriageway at junction 9 for Letchworth, between there and junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City, so that's looking really slow. And on the trains, the 848 service from Luton to Brighton has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Lee Agnew. The headlines. There's been another night of cars being vandalised in High Wycombe. The attack started last week after an inquest into the death of a man while being arrested by police ruled he'd died from misadventure. A man will appear at Cambridge Crown Court today charged with the murder of Jess Smith from Potton in Bedfordshire. The body of the 36-year-old father was discovered inside a car on New Year's Day. And a paramedic says safety on the M1 in Bedfordshire needs to be reviewed after a number of fatal accidents. Paul Hardwick says that he and his colleagues dread getting called out to the stretch between junctions 12 and 13. The weather will be cold and dry at first, turning cloudy with light rain this afternoon. Top temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius, that's 52 degrees Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers have been set 276 for victory against Bangladesh in the World Cup. With England needing to win, they've reached 43 for 1 in reply. Liverpool and Blackburn will have to replay their FA Cup quarter-final tie after it finished goalless at Anfield. The Blackburn manager, Gary Bowyer, says Liverpool won't enjoy the playing conditions at Ewood Park.
I'm not too sure that the pitch at Ewood is anywhere near the standard here. Unfortunately, at Ewood it's not been great of late, but that might be a little bit of a leveller for us.
Watford are joint top of the Championship with 4 other teams after their draw at Wolves, but MK Dons' automatic promotion hopes slipped after Saturday's 2-0 defeat at home to Preston in League One. The Dons are now 4 points adrift, but manager Carl Robinson still feels they can go up automatically.
That's it now. I think we will have Swindon and maybe just Doncaster who've creeped into that sort of final spot in the top half of the table still to play. So I'm running from here and in. The players can't use any excuses from now on. It's as simple as it is. They couldn't ask for better fixtures, and we have to hold on to that. This is the lowest point of it.
Luton Town's League 2 automatic promotion hopes were dented as they lost 3-2 at home to Morecambe. After the match, captain Steve McNulty and manager John Still were involved in an altercation with a Luton fan. Wycombe remain third after a draw at Southend, and Stevenage are closer to the playoffs after their win against Newport. And Luton Town Football Club says it's planning to rename its ground at Kenilworth Road. Chairman Nick Owen says an announcement will be made in a couple of weeks' time. In tennis, Britain will host France in the quarter-finals of the Davis Cup after victory over the United States. And finally in rugby, Bedford lost 15-8 to Yorkshire Carnegie. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, more at 9 o'clock.
08459 455 555.
Well. BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's been a busy show. Very busy show. We've hardly... I didn't get around to talking about Al Pacino, who's 74, and his 35-year-old girlfriend.
Yes.
Al Pacino is 74. His girlfriend is 35.
Nice.
Al Pacino told my friend off once. They were acting a scene together in a movie, and my friend's character had this little quirk where he would twirl his hat, and Al Pacino, in the middle of a take, stopped and said, "Would you stop twirling your flipping hat? I'm trying to act here."
Gosh, I hope your friend gave it back to him.
My friend looked down at him and said, "Sorry, Al." He's only wee, Al Pacino.
Tiny.
Is he?
Yeah, he rides around in the turn-up of people's trousers. Seriously.
He's suspiciously dark-haired, isn't he, considering how old he is?
He's under... What's Al Pacino, 5'1"? Google it.
I will.
He's also 74 years old, and he's got a 35-year-old girlfriend.
Who looks like his granddaughter.
Well, that's like having... surely that must be his nurse. I mean, that's insane. Any other 74-year-old gentleman... with a 35-year-old girlfriend. That's insania. Isn't it? It's disgusting.
I mean, I like Al Pacino, but I don't think I could like him that much.
I like her. Say hello to my little friend. Best Al Pacino film?
Well, that was Scarface.
Yeah, but the best Al Pacino film is not Scarface.
I like Scarface.
It's good.
Yes,
but it's not. But the best Al Pacino film.
He's 5'7". That's massive. He's an
It's the
absolute
same as me.
giant.
That's nonsense.
5'7".
He's not 5'7".
He's smaller than 5'7".
Never
That's 5'7".
seen anyone that tall in my life.
I'm that tall.
Oh, it's massive.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, really?
Have you seen that?
Have you seen Carlito's Way?
Okay, back to me. Have you seen Dog Day Afternoon?
No. Have you seen Carlito's Way?
No. It's a Mexican standoff.
No.
It's a Pacino standoff.
No, it's one of those where he's trying to get out
No, what I'm saying
of
is...
the game and they won't let him get out of the game and he's trapped in the game.
We haven't seen each other's films, so we're having a Pacino... That's a Pacino standoff.
Oh, right.
Where you have... It's like a Google whack, but we haven't seen each other's Pacino film. Have you seen Dog Day Afternoon?
No, have you seen Carlito's Way?
No, Pacino standoff. It's an on-pass. There's no escape from that.
Well, there is. We could both watch them.
Will you watch mine first? Not going to happen.
I might.
I'm not going to watch yours.
Well, I might watch... No, I might watch yours and then that takes away from you, doesn't it?
I might have seen Carlito's Way.
It's quite good.
But Dog Day Afternoon is flipping brilliant. It is...
Who did analyse this? De Niro.
That was Billy Crystal, wasn't it?
And De Niro.
I like it when De
They also
Niro
did
does...
analyse that.
I like De Niro's comedies.
Yeah, I do.
Of course, what's the film you lent me the other day that we like? King of Comedy.
King of Comedy was good.
Also, I love Midnight Run. Have you seen Midnight Run?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's brilliant. He's a bounty hunter, and he's got to go and get... I think it's Josh Brolin from the other side of America. But Josh Brolin is afraid of flying, and there's a great bit where he's
Is it like an odd couple buddy movie?
Yeah, he gets him, and he says, I'm not going on a plane with you, Robert De Niro. He says, you're going to go on a plane. I'm not going on a plane. I've got, what's the phobia where you're scared of flying?
Planophobia.
He says, I've got planophobia. He says, yeah, you're going to have fistophobia in a minute.
Oh!
And it's one of those films that's really sweary, loads of swears, but they would show it at 5:45 on a Saturday on ITV, so it's all you mother fluffer and stuff.
Forget you, Melon Farmer.
Yes.
Are there any women in it? Like a sister?
There's I think there's like a hot prostitute
Oh, that
falls in love with one of them.
Right.
So that's great.
I'm in.
So we didn't get a chance to talk about that.
It's a shame.
But we have talked about I keep going to say gay further. The gay part is irrelevant, actually, so apologies, because it is irrelevant to this.
Yeah, but the male's quite interested in that bit.
And I've been sucked into that, and that's nothing to do with it.
Should know better.
The single dad.
Yeah.
Who was single, and he wanted to have a baby. He couldn't find anyone to take his seed, so he gave it to his mother. She had a baby for him. That is messed up.
Yeah, but she didn't just take...
You think it's all right?
Yeah, I did.
You make me want to puke.
Why? Because I can see that you could just be a vessel for someone else's baby. I can see that. And it's not your baby. I can completely get that.
No, but how can you have a baby growing in you but not be connected to it? It's your blood. It's literally your blood is pumping through that baby's veins, and you have no connection
only
to
like
it.
a parasite.
And when they come out, it continues. The parasitical attitude.
It doesn't. If it's not yours, you hand them over. Job done.
So we've spoken about that. 08459 455 555. What else have we talked about? I'm tempted to... I'm going to be something about Midnight Run for £1 on Amazon. Go on, you carry on.
Can you do that after?
No. This is what it feels like. This is what you're experiencing now is what I experience all the time. Disinterest. Complete disinterest.
At work or just generally? A Scent of a Woman is a good Al Pacino movie, says Marco of St Albans.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's all right. The Eurovision song is like a Star Wars jazz band song, says Bart. Oh, I know what you mean. You know which one I mean? The one the prawns do.
Yeah. Well, we can put it to our expert. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you a local singer-songwriter, Mr. Raymond Marks. Good morning, Raymond.
Oh, good morning.
Raymond, What was that?
The computer. I was trying to sort of see if I can get through. But no, that's fine. It's all done.
Excellent stuff. Now, Raymond, you've been on this show many times before, a couple of times before. We're always proud to have you on. Just remind people of what you do, why you're such an expert on Eurovision.
Well, statistically, we have performed very, very poorly. In the last 15 years, we've been in the top 5 only twice. And I think the top 5 is an honourable result. Prior to that, when we had a knockout song contest, we were in the top 5 about 55%. So I don't quite understand why the BBC is so coy about this method of choosing it when we did far better. And I was just looking up how they chose this time. It was internal selection, red button service on a programme broadcast yesterday. Well, I've just looked through the TV guide. There's no sign of a programme called Our Song for Europe 2015.
I thought it was on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday the 7th.
Saturday, and you can't find a listing for it. It was very well hidden away. I only knew about it because there was a tiny, tiny paragraph in one of the papers on Saturday when I was doing a radio show. Yeah. So I was aware of it, but they didn't really... It used to be a big, a big fanfare about it, didn't there?
Yeah, well... statistically, we did far, far better when we had the knockout than we did this sort of rather coy, obscure selection process.
Well, Raymond,
at the moment.
let me just play you a snatch. Hang on, this is the Eurovision Song Contest entry for the UK 2015. Have a listen to some of this. Awfully versatile.
Upset, you're bound to get sneezes or nasty diseases. Take good care when I'm not there, I'm still in love with you.
Well, that's Euro's electric swing duo, Electro Velvet. Raymond, your thoughts, please.
Well, first thing is it sounds very like, is it Manhattan Roof Orchestra or Temperance 7 type of style?
Oh, yeah, yes, it does, yeah.
It's a nice song. When you're asked the question, will it win Eurovision, what I said to you is, hand on heart, if you'd announced it had actually won Eurovision, I think I would be a bit surprised.
So you don't think it doesn't stand a chance in hell, does it? I mean, it's A, it's pretty poor, and B, Eurovision's kind of fixed anyway, isn't it? We'll never win again, will we?
Well, if you told me, Adele, someone like you had won Eurovision Song Contest, I wouldn't be at all surprised. That's the level we've got to be in at, I think.
Raymond, have a listen to this. This is one of the songs that didn't make it on Saturday night. Do you think this would have done any better?
Running down the speedway, chasing on my ice cream. Running down the speedway, chasing on my ice cream. Yo, we're wow. Yo, we're wow. Yo, we're wow. Yo, we're wow.
You may be able to guess from that, Raymond. That's wow. They didn't make it on Saturday. Would that have fared any better, do you think?
Well, I would say that's a song that has a very sharp appeal to a smaller group of people. I think Eurovision has got to be a universal type of appeal.
It's a bit niche. Wow.
Yes, you know, it feels a little bit like rap, which some people absolutely love. I think strategically we've got to be in it to win it, and this isn't the way of going about it. If BBC were in charge of the British football team, the English football team in the World Cup, we'd have been thrown out on that.
That's an excellent analogy. Raymond, you of course have written songs for Eurovision. Did you write one for this year?
Well, I have one ready called Danger No Stranger. It was a sort of Bond type thing, because I think, Bond would be accepted as a British sort of thing.
Yeah.
The thing I'd say about those two songs you played, they've got very, very long introductions.
Yeah.
I would have thought that's a bit of a handicap in Eurovision. You've got to get in quick.
Don't bore us, get straight to the chorus.
Yeah. And my own experience has always been, we're deciding, we haven't decided yet, we haven't decided yet, we've decided. It's like a sort of standoff. And I was chatting to Mike Reed on the radio some time ago.
Oh, yeah, the DJ.
He was very involved in it. He said, one of the snags is, the knock-on is, a lot of great British talent is being denied this venue. And if we had that knockout competition, at least if you're in the knockout, it's an honour. If you win the competition, it's a bigger honour.
Would anyone... Kelly Betts, who's a member of my team, she's one of the junior members of the team, she was wondering... Well, I mean that in terms of age, not in terms of experience. Well, you were asking, Kelly, why don't big stars get involved?
Yeah, like, why can't we put our best act forward like an Adele or Sam Smith? Why do we have to go for the ones that...
I was afraid. The manager of Blues said if they don't win Eurovision, their career will be finished. Now, I don't think we've heard much of Blues since they were in Eurovision.
Raymond?
But Blue isn't really one of our best acts.
I mean, they're excellent.
Blue were a big pop band. They were a big act. Raymond, listen, we would love... I mean, is Danger no stranger in any condition for us to play on the wireless?
It might be on your list.
Well, I tell you what, would you be able to... Well, Catherine will give you the details afterwards. We'd love to play it. And also, would you be our Eurovision correspondent this year?
Yes, we have to do so.
I know you did last year, and it was always great to get your opinion. Raymond, listen, I'm going to pass you back...
We have a little party at home, and we try and vote as they're voting. There's one thing about the voting which I think is a little bit of a handicap.
Yeah.
The judges do their vote based on a rehearsal. Now, I think that's totally unfair of the artists, because a rehearsal is a place where you should be able to make mistakes and refine the thing. So half the way to voting is judges viewing a rehearsal.
And you're going to have a Eurovision party?
Oh, yes, we'll get together and sit and we'll try and do the voting the same way they do the voting on television.
Do you know who I think would sit great in a Eurovision party with Raymond, Catherine? Matt Lockwood.
Yes.
Would you be averse to one of our reporters popping round for a little bit of your Eurovision party?
No, not at all.
Raymond, listen, stay on the line. Speak to Catherine. We're going to get more of your details. Send us that song, Danger No Stranger. I can just imagine Matt Lockwood, who's one of our top reporters at Raymond's Eurovision party.
Well, at any party.
Yeah,
He's
any
a party animal.
And we've got our Eurovision correspondent. Brilliant. Raymond, you're a good sport as always. Nice to talk to you. We'll get Danger No Stranger and we'll play it on the radio at some point this week.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1M northbound, there's been an accident between junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City and 7 for Stevenage, but it has been moved to the hard shoulder. It is causing it to be slow in both directions, northbound past the scene and southbound as well. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's slow between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40. And in Beaconsfield on the A355, there's still a lane blocked at the roundabout, at the Piebush roundabout, because of an accident, and it's causing delays on Gore Hill from the A413. On the A1 Great North Road, it's looking very busy through the roadworks at the Black Cat roundabout on all approaches. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. Man, I'm hungry. I'm feeling the Ginsters coming on. 8:46, it's Monday the 9th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. There's been another vandalism spree in High Wycombe with numerous cars being attacked over the weekend. A man will appear in court today charged with the murder of Jess Smith from Potton, who was found shot dead on New Year's Day. And a paramedic says safety on the M1 in Bedfordshire needs to be reviewed after a number of fatal accidents. 08459 455 555. Your calls after the weather with Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It was a fairly chilly start this morning, but the sun is up. We've seen some sunny spells, but gradually you'll notice the cloud increasing from the west, and it is going to become a rather thick cloud by the time we get to lunchtime. And then the rain arrives as well. The wind gradually starts to strengthen also. The maximum temperature later 11 Celsius. Now, this rain is likely to stay with us through much of this evening as well, but eventually it will shift eastwards, and behind it some clearer skies. So post midnight, really early hours of tomorrow morning, the sky will clear and the temperature will drop. We're looking at 1 as a minimum, so we could see a frost tomorrow morning in the more prone spots, but it is a beautiful start. If a little chilly to Tuesday, plenty of sunshine tomorrow, some high cloud in the afternoon but staying dry, and a maximum temperature of 10 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
It starts off with going to a needle exchange and there's support workers in there.
In that treatment centre, it still hadn't got to the nub of the problem.
It hadn't, no.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
Lee from Luton began drinking at the age of 12.
I'd wake up in the morning, the first thing on my mind would be a drink.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
My dad came to see me on that prison sentence and he told me he was dying of terminal cancer and he wanted to make things right before he died. He took me back into his home. He done his best and the bottom line was I still couldn't stop using drugs.
Allowing you to listen to what you missed. bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Kathy.
Hello, Ian.
How are you, Kathy? All right.
Yes, I really love your show. I was just telling Kelly, I love your show. I listen to you every day. I think
that's
your
very
show
kind.
is wonderful.
And has your mum let you phone up this morning?
Pardon?
Has your mum let you phone up this morning?
No. I've let myself phone up.
Oh, does she?
No.
Should you not be at school?
No.
You sound about 12, Kathy.
No, I'm not. Oh, that's nice. No. Oh, stop it. I'm really nervous.
Oh, no, don't be nervous. Go on then. What have you got?
No, I was just saying to Kelly, I really, really enjoy your show. I listen to you every day. This morning, I've got a day off because I'm sorting out cupboards and stuff like that.
Oh, it's tedious to start with, but very satisfying once it's done.
Yes, I know, but oh, God. Anyway, I'm going through that. I was just picked up on your conversation about the lady that had a surrogate child for a son.
It's weird, isn't it?
No, I found it very, very uncomfortable. I've got a son, he's 25.
Yeah.
And he's straight, but even the thought of it, it just makes me...
Imagine having yours... So it's not genetically yours. You're not, it's not your eggs or anything, but your son's baby inside your tum-tum, that is not right, is it?
It doesn't feel right at all. But I did say to Kelly, if I had a daughter...
We had a good old chat.
Why don't you marry her so much, Kelly?
We had a good old chat, didn't we, Kathy?
Yeah, no, if I had a daughter, but I haven't got a daughter, but I think I'd feel more comfortable if it was a daughter and she couldn't have a child. It'd be sort of...
But then what are you suggesting then? If your daughter can have a child, right, but she had a really handsome husband, would you create the baby?
Oh, no. No, you said it that way. No, it seems different.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I could, Ian. No. I think you're mucking about with too much nature.
I don't think you'd have to do it that way, Kathy. I have to say, I don't think you'd have to actually.
It's literally unnatural.
Yeah, but so is IVF.
Well, don't get me started on that.
Well, no, it's not natural, is it? You're bypassing certain things in order to get a result.
You're bypassing that?
Yeah, but Catherine, I mean, with IVF and like egg donors and things like that, you don't sort of know the person, do you?
You might. It might be your sister's eggs. I offered to donate my eggs.
Yeah,
I could do some eggs right now. I'm starving.
Anyway, listen, Ian.
Yes.
All of my friends at work, they absolutely love your show. They all love you. They love Jonathan as well.
Who do they like most? Me or Jonathan? Who's their favourite?
Well, no. Well, I think...
Your silence speaks volumes, Kathy. Yes, OK,
No.
Jonathan's good. He's very good.
He's very, very good.
He's
a
very
bit
good.
serious. He's not scatty like you.
No,
She's got you.
I'm not scatty. I'm very, very focused. Who is this woman?
But Ian,
Yes.
Ian, no, Kelly said she'd sort me
get
out.
married.
It's all about you.
Yeah. It's all about you.
It's all about you. No, you've got... If she found it.
I don't know what...
So Kathy's got this song and she says that it's literally written about you.
Yeah, it's
so
good.
I found
It's written
it.
about you, but it's written before you was born, Ian.
Lee is so good looking.
Can I just say, it can't have literally been written about you if it happened before you were born.
Prophecy.
Okay.
They written it in
It's a
advance.
prophecy. They knew you was coming.
What? Well, shall we have a bit? I've got a song lined up. I've got no idea what it is.
Yeah,
Here we go.
listen, you love it.
Oh, this is going to be pwned. You're going to get pwned.
Oh, I know this. This is good.
1, 2, 3. Look at Mr. Lee. 3, 4, 5.
Here we go.
Look at him, John. Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. I met my sweetie, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. His name is Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee, Mr.
your sweets, Kathy?
Hey?
Do you want your sweets? I deliver.
My heart is aching, or you missed the link.
This is good, this song, isn't it? I like this. The Bobettes.
Yeah, it's all about you. I told you.
Kathy, it's so nice to talk to you. Thank you. Do call again, won't you?
Yeah, you will. You take care. Thank you for a lovely show.
You're a good sport, Kathy. Thank you very much. Classic, just, isn't it?
Has the ego massage finished?
Yeah, no, not yet. There's another minute. The Bobettes are good. Did they do anything else?
Yeah, they did one called Justin Dealey.
He's a plum. What? Sorry? We have the Eurovision expert on, Just. Did you hear it?
Oh, he answered his phone. Yeah, I heard it at the end. And, yeah, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, so earlier on, you got all upset. Oh, why didn't you mention that my show was so good? How dare you?
Yeah.
You work on my programme. Oh,
mate.
yeah, we've got this fantastic reporter here called Matthew Lockwood.
Yeah.
Hello?
Well, I mean, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Well,
you don't touch my back. You don't touch my back.
No, I did.
I don't go anywhere near your back.
No, I massaged your back.
No, you didn't.
I massaged your shoulders the other week as well in the office.
No, mate.
No, fact.
Well, literally.
You did, I saw.
Yeah, literally you did. But I'm sorry, Justin.
You said he had magic hands.
I've just got to say, Justin, you know, if you don't say it, you'll make me a favour, I'll make you a favour, you can't refuse.
Wow.
You make me a favour, I'll make you a favour, you can't refuse. Justin, I'll make you a favour you can't refuse.
It's not a favour, it's an offer.
Huh?
An offer.
Okay. I'll make you a favour you can't offer. Justin.
Oh, Iain,
can you imagine, though, Matt Lockwood, a Eurovision party.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
Wouldn't that be gold?
It would be brilliant. And Matt Lockwood, for anybody who doesn't know, I shared a hotel room with Matthew Lockwood.
You
back
shared
in
a
December.
party company with him as well.
Yes, it's called D-Lock Promotions.
How's that going?
It's going very badly, but we're just awaiting a first few clients. But he is a guy who likes a party.
Yeah.
I think with Raymond for the Eurovision party, that will be radio gold.
We have some Bobettes news from Kelly Betts.
Yeah, I've just looked up to see what other hits they had.
Yeah.
The first one was Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
The second one was I Shot Mr. Lee.
Oh dear.
So I don't think they like you.
I'm gonna make you a favour that you just can't say no to no more.
Oh.
That's not bad, is it?
It's nice with the sirens.
Justin!
Yes, boss.
What have you got for us now, my darling?
Okay, sweetness. Earlier on, you were talking about the M1, junction 12 to 13. A paramedic claimed it was the most dangerous stretch of motorway in the country. It's poorly lit. A number of fatalities there since September. I've been talking to professional drivers about the M1, junction 12 to 13. Do they feel it's really that dangerous? Could it be lit better? Here's what those people had to say. Well, as somebody who's using that stretch of the motorway quite a bit, sir, do you think it's dangerous? We're hearing this morning it's one of the most dangerous stretches of motorway in the country.
I don't think it is. Well, no. I think it's bad driving, mate.
So you don't think that it's poorly lit or anything like that?
Well, if you're driving at night, you've got headlights on, haven't you? So you can see what you're doing anyway. And you're driving in a straight line.
So it's not dangerous at all. You don't drive.
Not to me, isn't it? No. I've been doing it for 30 years, so I don't have a problem with it.
Well, so you're using that stretch of motorway a lot. Do you think it's dangerous?
Yes, indeed, I do. Because since they've taken the hard shoulder away and anybody breaks down, it's liable for accidents.
So they need to put some sort of temporary hard shoulder back in? That's the solution, then?
Yes, I would say so, yes, definitely.
So, again, a regular user of the M1, junction 12 to 13. When it comes to lighting, just how important do you think it is to have proper lighting on a motorway?
It does. Proper lighting on every motorway in this country, every motorway, and it makes it a lot easier.
And why do you think that some stretches of motorway are not lit properly? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just don't know. There's a lot of motorways that are lit up, and they are good, but a lot of them are. M11, that needs lighting up. Everyone needs lighting up, and the government are just oblivious to it all.
So you think if all motorways were lit properly, we'll definitely see less accidents on our roads?
Easy. Then it'll reduce a lot of congestion as well, especially for us, for us XGVs, it needs lighting up.
Well, it sounded like Catherine's showreel there, all the different accents.
How rude.
That's a good point. Why is it that some stretches of motorway aren't lit? Some people would say, oh, it doesn't make it any less dangerous. Me, I've been driving for quite some time. If I go on a motorway and it's not lit, straight away I do feel nervous.
There is a known phenomenon of where you drive from lit areas to dark areas to lit areas again, where it messes up your eyes and you struggle to readjust, even though you think you can see. Yeah. My thing, if they want to save money, well, then you only have every third roadside light on. So you have one on, two off, one on, two off.
But does it work like that? Are they in a chain?
Well, they must be just pulled the fuse out. No, seriously. It's why is everyone laughing? Why is everyone laughing at that? It's a serious point.
Because it's a circuit.
Kelly gets it.
I agree.
Because it's a circuit. One feeds the other.
No, it's not a Christmas tree. It's not like Christmas tree lights.
I think it's like that.
Can't you just take a bulb out?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dearie me. Well, team, Justin.
Yes, boss.
I'll speak to you afterwards. Is that all right? I've booked the meeting room for 45 minutes.
45 minutes you want?
You're going to get Stern talking to.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. Kelly, thank you. Good contributions today.
Thanks.
Catherine?
Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. There's always tomorrow. Oh, hang on.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1M northbound, there was an accident earlier between junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City and 7 for Stevenage. It's on the hard shoulder now, and it's still causing queues, though, northbound and southbound past the scene. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's very slow between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40. And in Beaconsfield on the A355, there's still a lane blocked at the Piebush roundabout because of an accident, and that's causing delays from the A413 along Gore Hill to the A40 Piebush roundabout. On the A40 London Road in High Wycombe, that's looking slow in both directions. And looking at the train departure boards, there are no major delays coming up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, there are 2 podcasts out last week. There is the best of, but there's also, and you may have missed this one, there's also an exclusive interview with Tony Blackburn. It's fascinating, it's funny, and you find out exactly what he wants to do to Frankie Valli, a man he detests. Back tomorrow at 6. Till then, from us, ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Monday, it's 9 o'clock, everyone, and on today's Big Phone In, how should the person who poisoned Jagger at Crufts be punished? It's front page news today, and Irish